Well, hi again, everybody. And you know what makes the Pip and Dodds Packers podcast so awesome? Well, we have John Dodds, the versatile one. This guy is as good an analyst as you'll get. He's prepared as they come, but he gives us a historical perspective like none other. And that's why we are really excited to continue on as we get set for the Packers in Indianapolis against the Colts. It should be a good one. And John, I think the greatest thing is that Michael Rachel, our emerging star, what a blessing he's been to us. And what I love is he's really good. And I've heard this many times. He looks like Christian Yelich, whereas you and I look like a couple of retired weather people in Milwaukee. But he makes us skew young. You got to love that.
Absolutely. You got to have that youth and exuberance. They're the ones that in the military to take the hill. We're just the guys that order them to take the hill. So
Yeah.
we just have to sit back and let them go.
Absolutely. We feel we have a good team and none better than Jason Ruck, our producer at WisconsinSportsStream.com. As he says so accurately, it's a viewing party. So we invite your questions, interactive, pippandodds.com/ask for Michael Rachel. He will pass those along, and it's going to be a lot of fun today. John, let's talk about these Colts, especially good on defense. This may be the toughest unit that the Packers have faced. They're number one in interceptions with 11. They only allow 3.2 yards per crack on the ground, and as you're aware, Aaron Jones and company had a tough time against Jacksonville. So how do you see this game playing out?
Well, definitely this is the best defense the Packers have faced since Tampa, no question. Led by Darius Leonard, the middle linebacker, arguably top 5 in the NFL. And then they have DeForest Buckner. They gave up a number 99. They gave up a number 1 pick to San Francisco to get him, so they're getting immediate dividends. He's brought to their defense what Reggie White brought in 1993 to the Packers, just that really solid, big presence. And then they have a fast secondary. Now, so it's speed. They're probably the fastest team the Packers have played. But I wouldn't compare them to Tampa in that I wouldn't compare it to the Tampa situation, because in that situation, the Packers were 4-0 and they went on a bye. And because of COVID, they couldn't go on vacation. So they spent basically a week staying in Green Bay in their apartments, basically. And I think they were probably crawling the walls doing that during that time. So they came out flat against Tampa. I don't see that happening. Indianapolis has terrific players. Probably their best player is their Nelson, their offensive left guard from Notre Dame. He's the best in the business, and he's up against Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark's going to earn his money that he got in his extension today. But Leonard, the middle linebacker, DeForest Buckner, number 99, and Nelson, the left guard. Those are their top 3 players.
Michael, as we look at the Packers, they're getting a couple of key performers back. That helps a bunch, doesn't it?
It sure does. Kevin Kane and Jair Alexander are back, but also Alan Lazard is finally back after his injury. It feels like he made a quick recovery compared to what that injury was supposed to be when we first learned of it. To get him back as a weapon for Aaron Rodgers is something that I am looking forward to today.
Well, he's made a great comeback when you consider it was the core muscle injury. Surgery followed. He's practiced for a while. They feel this is the time to bring him in, and he's missed 6 games, but in the first 3, he had 13 catches, 254 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. So really super to have him back with Davante Adams, who struggled with an ankle. There was a little concern as to his availability, but the last couple of days, things look very good that way. How about the running back situation with A.J. Dillon still on the COVID? And then you have Irvin, who is out with a wrist injury, as well as, I believe, a rib problem. So, Michael, the Packers have activated a running back, right, from the practice squad. I think a former Dallas Cowboy.
I actually didn't catch that today.
And I think I put you on the spot. Mike Weber.
No, sorry, I missed that one today.
And I apologize for that. I must have had a dream or something about Mike Weber, and that's why he's in there. JD, Indianapolis, man alive, Phillip Rivers, to me, he'll carve you apart. He's like a toothache, isn't he? And if you give him time, this guy who is maybe a notch below Hall of Fame only because the former Charger hasn't won enough, he's pretty steady Eddie out there, isn't he?
He is. He's the least sacked, least harried quarterback in the NFL this year. So that means he's getting the ball out quickly. He's got that elongated kind of sidearm, Rich Campbell release. He's a lot better than Rich Campbell was for the Packers back in the early 80s. But he's the wily veteran, and he just crushed the Packers last year when they played San Diego Chargers. I'm going to say, not going to say the San Diego Chargers, but they played the Chargers out in Los Angeles. But that was another situation where after a bye, after some time off, the Packers are going to a warm weather port in California. And it seemed like they laid a lot of eggs in going from into California and then into Florida. Pip, the key thing for today, though, in our podcast, I picked the Packers to win, but I was concerned about J.K. Scott.
Right.
Because not only is he the punter, he's the holder. And the special teams for the Colts is terrific. They have one of the top special teams units in the NFL, and the Packers have to be sharp to win. I think the Packers will win this, but they need J.K. Scott, and he is going to play today.
Yeah, they were out concerned over his availability, a personal matter. He had taken a plane, we knew, to Indy, and then he is indeed active. The fellow they signed is somebody who's had success in the league. His name is Drew Kaiser. So good to see Scott there, because in addition to everything else you're saying, John, he's also been kicking off to kind of help out Mason Crosby, who's been a bit banged up. Michael, I want to take it to you quickly. We're talking about this Darius Leonard. He's had a hand in 17 turnovers in his 34-35 game career. This kid is just impactful. He's dynamite. But Aaron Rodgers unwittingly gave him a little bulletin board material. Usually it's the other way around with 12, right?
Yeah, it was unintentional as well, because it was weeks back when they were playing San Francisco, and Fred Warner is a linebacker for San Francisco, and Aaron Rodgers said that was the best linebacker he's seen in the game so far. And obviously Aaron Rodgers has not gone up against Darius Leonard, but Darius Leonard commented on it, and he said, "I've been thinking about that ever since he said that. I hope I can change his mind," and we'll find out in just a few minutes as to if he will.
Absolutely. A reminder that we're brought to you by DJ's Goalpost in Menominee Falls. Don Matovich, a good friend and best sports bar, restaurant, and all this incredible sports memorabilia I've ever seen anywhere. Also, Professional Construction Inc. has been a supporter. Mike and Michelle Grau do fantastic work, interior work in your home. They also do the commercial as well as residential. Also, Elephantly, and our great as the Packers take that kickoff. Again, they take the kickoff. And last week, as we know, was the first time they haven't scored on the opening drive. So let's see what happens here. Elephantly, and also for Milwaukee. Andrew Ogrogan is getting us a great guest. Shannon Geringer, our fantastic marketing person here in Milwaukee. Andrew's in Paris. So we've got everything covered here as Aaron Rodgers and company get set to go right away. They're gonna be tested. I don't know as they feel like they can run this thing, John. They open up with the passing formation.
Yeah, they have all the wides, and they got.
They got number 17.
Well,
take a shot first play.
It's funny, you spread them all out, and that reminded me of 2010 when they spread everybody out and they just looked for the best matchup. So they dictated coverage on that, and the thing is, the Colts defense is terrific and it's fast, but they've been playing against quarterbacks that are not as efficient as Aaron Rodgers. So let's see if the Packers can dictate tempo here.
And maybe the pass opens up the run for 33 a little bit. All right, there's Lazard with his first catch in 7 games. I'm sure he is delighted to be back there. And you know the Packers, that weapon, it really means a bunch, doesn't it, against a good defense, Michael?
Yeah, it is a really good defense. So 2 plays, 40 yards almost so far on this drive. It's very encouraging. My key to the game this game was to get the ball out of Rodgers' hands quick, because I think the defense won't be able to adapt to what Rodgers sees down the field quicker. And I think that's the key to success today.
You know, what's interesting is they brought Mercedes Lewis in this drive.
Oh boy.
I think he lost it.
I'd be surprised if he came up with it.
Oh man, turnovers. They got away with it last week when their two best players made turnovers in Rodgers and Devontae Adams, but not with a group like this. God darn it. I don't know what the problem was with the exchange.
I hope Rodgers is okay here too, because he went for that ball against the lineman.
Right.
It's dangerous.
Took a pretty good hit too. He looks a little bit dazed, doesn't he?
Yeah. Either that or he forgot to get a haircut this week.
Or both. Yeah.
And of course, it's against Darius Leonard.
Yeah, there you go. Great point, John. This kid is amazing. I'm sure they probably, Aaron likes to talk. They might have said a little something there coming out.
Yeah,
That one was an unforced error, though. Not nothing the Colts did there, really.
True that, and I don't unless Lindsley snapped it on a wrong count, John. It appeared as if that was on Aaron.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been backing out too quickly. Yeah, in the games the Colts have lost, they've lost the turnover battle. So that's one of the key aspects today is turnovers, and it doesn't start off well because not only have you lost the toss, Indy wins it, elects to defer. They turn you over on that first time, so now they're going to have multiple possessions on you, more than you would have had. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's the Packer defense that they're not the type of defense that turns the ball back. So let's see.
That's right.
So the Colts are going to take the ball over here. I think I'll get to a question because
There you go. I was just going to say pippandodds.com/ask for Michael Rachel.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the Packers have struggled against opposing running backs this year. We talked about in our podcast how the Indianapolis Colts kind of have a two-headed monster in Nyheim Hines and ex-Badger Jonathan Taylor. So I'll send this one to you, JD. It's Ryan from Brown Deer, and he asked, can Green Bay slow down Nyheim Hines? He seems to be the kind of running back that has given Green Bay's defense nightmares.
Well, they're going to have to do something to buttress the left guard position because Nelson, that guard from Notre Dame, is the best run blocker in the NFL. So let's see, Quentin Nelson, number 56. So watch him at left guard and see what they do. Now, if Kevin King plays with Alexander and they can guard the outside one-on-one, then Pettine's got an extra man or two that they can pull in and put it in the box. We'll see what that happens. But yeah, Rodgers got tagged on his left shoulder there. I hope there's nothing, no issue with that. But
Lindsley shaking his head, so I don't know. I mean, I suppose that's something you might find out about later. I've been very impressed with Hines as a runner, as a receiver as well.
There he is right away.
Mm-hmm. Now they have Jonathan Taylor, the former Badger, and I know Hub Arkish, John. We all have a lot of respect for him. Big Bears guy, but often hear him on TMJ. Okay, good. Coming back with a penalty. But he had Indianapolis winning the AFC this season, and he had Jonathan Taylor as the AFC Rookie of the Year, but he's just been okay so far. Is that an accurate statement about him?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, I think he's had a couple of fumbles in their games, so he's lost playing time, but he's shown flashes. I mean, he's one talented guy. It might just take him a bit. Yeah. Hopefully it takes him after today.
Yeah, right. He did struggle with the fumbles, of course, at Wisconsin. There's Rivers again. You give him enough time behind a pretty good offensive line.
The interesting thing, I was in mid-sentence when Rodgers fumbled that, but the Packers started off with Mercedes Lewis at tight end. So it looks like you're going to have a running package in the game. But then they split him out to the sidelines, and then they split Aaron Jones out to the sidelines and had an empty backfield, which I'm sure confused the Colts.
Now, Rivers is 1-2 against the Pack in his career, but in each game he's thrown for over 370 yards. Oh, good play right there, Amos, huh?
And one positive for the Packers is the Colts are without their starting right tackle, Braden Smith, today. He got hurt. He hurt his thumb in practice earlier this week. So that might help the running game a little, or the running defense a little bit.
Thanks for sharing that, my friend. That's why they call him JD, the best color man in the business, Michael Rachel. Big third down if they can get out of this. Bringing some heat.
Oh my goodness.
Darn it.
Oh, ball's out.
Fumble! Get it! I think he had that ball, didn't he, John?
I think is a catch.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Savage.
Turnovers. He punched
ball's
it right
out.
out. Alexander or Savage? It was Savage. You're right.
No,
What
it's
a
green.
No, this
oh,
is green.
Green
Yeah.
forced it, but I think Savage recovered it.
Uh-huh. That was a heck of a play. I mean, he flat out went for it with a punch.
Wow.
So the person that fumbled it right there, Mo Alley Cox, fun fact is he never played football in college. He went to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth
Really?
University, and I don't believe they had a football team there. I'd have to double check that now that I think about it.
Where'd he go?
He went to VCU, and I think they might have actually added a football program lately. I'll double check that.
Yeah, good. Interesting. Either way, he didn't play in college, and now he's at the highest level. Woo! Talk about dodging a bullet. Now, as you say, hopefully Rogers is okay. I want to tell you a bit more about Elephant League Collective. Started in San Francisco, the epicenter for digital and tech, that whole world, based in Paris, France, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Elephant League Collective is a creative and multi-talented team comprised of web designers, full-stack developers, graphic designers, and content curators. Specialties include website development, SEO, branding, and UX/UI design. And boy, have they done a job for us. Also, Fore, as in Fore, Milwaukee, a golf simulator bar located on Water Street in downtown Milwaukee, giving some unique golf experiences for you players of all levels, PGA instruction, practice, indoor play. With state-of-the-art golf simulators, you can play over 40 golf courses around the country, grab a beer and a slice of pizza while playing ping pong, darts, and more. And my podcast partners happen to be pretty good players. I've seen them both swing. I've played with them, and John Dodds and Michael Rachel are smooth out there.
I don't know about that one. Every once in a while.
Yeah, you bet. The Bears are on a bye. They have struggled to 5-5, and it sounds like they're probably going to be going back to Trubisky, JD.
If he's healthy, yeah, they played Trubisky for one play or two plays 2 weeks ago, and I think he hurt his shoulder on some Mickey Mouse play or whatever they were trying to run. But yeah, Foles is hurt, so they're going to try to get Trubisky back. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. I'm still intrigued by this. The Packers trying to dictate matchups by putting Mercedes Lewis rather than putting him inside, moving him way out, and then moving so they got the cornerbacks to guard wides, and that's they could dictate the matchup against Devontae Adams.
All right, here's a run. Not bad by Aaron Jones. If you see what look to be dollar signs on your television set, John, maybe that's David Bakhtiari. Look, Leonard and Rogers. You got to love it. You got to love it. Hey, listen, I meant nothing by it. That guy in San Francisco is good, but you're even better.
We play San Francisco twice a year. I've seen the guy play 10 times. I've ever played against you.
You got the script for him there. That's good. Yeah, how about that Bakhtiari contract, 105 million clams?
And I'm not dating Danica anymore. That was the final.
You think that?
Yeah.
Bakhtiari said I ought to be paid that much money, most by alignment. All right, first down, looks like.
Oh, that's a poor mark. Oh, as John Madden said when they mark. Oh.
He went inside foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they mark with their left foot, he said he got every mark, but when they marked with their right foot, he never got a mark. Never got a first down.
So you get 69 under contract. How do you think that impacts number 33 in the backfield in terms of him getting another contract? Corey Linsley's out there, 3rd and 1 for the Pack.
Well, it's still a big question mark. The cap is going down next year. Short yardage. This is not a strong point for the Packers.
So they're going to disdain the run. Aaron's going to get the first down with his feet. Okay. I like that call, rolling him out no matter what, right? Whether he takes it or if it's open.
Hopefully Leonard is so jacked that they can use that against him.
Hmm.
It looked like he ran himself off the play with a play action fake there.
It looked like Tunyon turned away there. I think Rodgers wanted him to look for the ball because I think it could have been a bigger play.
Well, because Leonard came in and jacked him. They knew that
Yeah.
was, they were holding him and jacking him, but so good first down. So far, Indianapolis hasn't stopped them. The Packers have only stopped themselves.
That's right. Nice. Now he's looking for Tunyon. As Mike McCarthy would say, positive yardage.
In all three, it was a great game in all three phases. All three phases. That was a.
Come on, you missed that in the news conferences.
That was so much better than Forrest Gregg. Forrest Gregg would say, "I don't think we played any chili red hot."
What?
Yeah, listening to that for like 3-4 years was enough. Good play action fakes.
I like the design. Look out.
Oh, I don't know if he went down.
Whoa, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
They blew the whistle for player safety, but I'd like to see that again, Mike.
I agree. It looked like he got, well, this isn't it, but it looked like when he flipped, I didn't see his knee go down. Maybe his or forearm. Yeah, his shoulder.
Yeah. One shoulder equals 2 feet.
That was Lewis, wasn't it? Or was that MVS?
That was Lewis. They were running
So.
something on Lewis, but MVS, you can see what speed does. He was able to keep that cornerback way the heck out of the play.
He is definitely improving. There's no question. The one touchdown he had, 52-yarder last week, that's his God-given speed. And the other one, he used some moxie, helped Aaron out on a pattern. Michael, he's making hay lately. You got to give credit where credit is due for this kid has frustrated the Packers on and off for the first couple of plus years. But
yeah, at least we're getting some glimpses of hope, and it looks like the trend is going up for him. So,
and as John has said, it sometimes takes a while.
There we go.
Yes, sir. Tunyon.
Boy, that was nice. If he could become Paul Kaufman, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But you're not playing. If the Colts have not seen a quarterback this efficient, and they're jacked today because they're underdogs. Good protection.
Boy, he was wide open. That's incredible. Very, very impressed.
And those were two tight ends that were running that route. Did you see that? That Sternberger went out to the pylon.
Good catch there, John.
Get it in.
Hey, Andrew, I think we've got Andrew O'Grogan coming our way soon, our marketing person. But, Michael, let me throw it out to you. Bad news for Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals top overall pick, the rookie. I think when he hurt his knee, he said, "See you next year."
Yeah, he tweeted out, "See you next year." He took a bad hit to his leg. I'm not exactly sure what the injury is. I think he'll have tests tomorrow, but obviously doesn't look good when he himself is saying that he'll see you next year. It's tough blow for the NFL in general. Just to like to see your young guys be able to develop in their first year. So that's setback. Hopefully he'll be ready by the beginning of next year.
And everything impacts the draft. And as I said before, I think last week, it looks like 6 quarterbacks now are going to be taken in the top 9 or 10 picks. So now if Cincinnati then thinks maybe instead of trading out of that spot, if they're up there in that mix, maybe they have to think, our guy's not going to be back for next year. Maybe we better get another guy. It's going to be an interesting draft. That drive was 7 plays, 51 yards, 406 after probably the biggest forced fumble of the year for the Packer defense.
Yeah, as you were saying, they have a long way to go in the turnover department, but they got it. They got one at a key time, and was it game before last they came up with a couple, or Jackson? I think San Francisco sticks out to me. So this defense at least seems to be trending in the right direction.
Against inferior players at San Francisco, though, it was.
Yeah, true that.
They had everybody off on COVID, and they were down to the wretched refuse, I think, was activated for that game.
Michael, the Vikings have been tough, haven't they? They seem to be really coming on. 3 straight wins. They do trail the Cowboys in the first quarter, 6-0. But next couple of games for them, I think, are against rather weak opponents.
Yeah, 3 in a row, like you said. They're not out of the playoff picture yet, but no concern for the Packers as if, losing the NFC North to them. It's all but wrapped up at this point. Chicago going the wrong way. So, yeah, Minnesota's got a shot at the playoffs, but it won't impact the Packers.
Saints are now 8-2 as they handled the Falcons 24-9. The big news there, instead of Jameis Winston, Michael, it was a former Packer, Taysom Hill, the all-purpose and maybe most overpaid player in the league.
Yeah.
Do a lot of things. And, man, he handled himself well at quarterback.
Yeah, it surprised everybody when they announced unofficially. It got leaked that Taysom Hill was going to start this week. Everyone thought they'd go to Jameis Winston since they played Jameis once Drew Brees got hurt last week. But we'll see. We'll see if they continue with Taysom. He did play better than I thought he would today. It was against the Falcons. I'm not sure what their schedule looks like next week. So I think Brees is out for 2 to 3 weeks. So
I think
it'll be
3
interesting
minimum because they put him on the injured list.
Yeah.
With those ribs, man, that's what is going on here. Let me tell you, he's about back. I think he's enthused. I don't think he's upset with his coach, but that was quite a forearm shiver. Rivers and company back to work.
Just to touch off real quick on that, Mo Alley Cox, the tight end that fumbled for Indianapolis, he did not play college football. He was a 4-year college basketball athlete at VCU.
So did you find out if VCU has football?
They do, though. Yes, they do.
The Commodores, you were right. They're
the Rams. They're the Rams. Yep. They're in the A10. My alma mater, St. Louis University, is in there. So I saw Mo Alley Cox play a little bit when he played SLU in basketball. So kind of cool. Got some questions here, though. PippinDodds.com/ask. This is from Jason from Madison. I'll send this one to you, JD. He used to live in San Diego and is a Phillip Rivers fan. Do you have some great stories from the press room regarding Phillip Rivers? He's a character given the amount he talks in games, yet doesn't swear, and has a huge family. I think he's got 9 kids now, something like that. Are there any crazy stories you've seen?
I can't think of one. We didn't play San Diego or Los Angeles that much, and last year it was on the road. But I know that Phillip Rivers definitely a family man, and I think the first year that they moved to Los Angeles, he kept his family in San Diego and he commuted. And that's about a 120-mile trip. And I've made that business-wise a bunch of times. And in the wrong type of traffic, that could be, like a Gilligan's Island 3-hour, 4-hour tour kind of a thing. So he stayed away from his family, but he's a great family man and a good guy. Wow,
Sure
3rd and 13.
Oh, you don't like to see that. Come on, guys. 3rd and 13.
Yeah, he's got that stigma of it seemed like every playoff, the Chargers would come to a cold weather port and roll over and die, which was unfortunate.
Michael was right on. He does have 9 children, Phillip Rivers and his wife. Holy shnikes.
It's funny that he's taking over in Indianapolis, and Andrew Luck was kind of similar, where he would always congratulate the defense when they'd hit him hard and sack them. And now you got Phillip Rivers, who's, whenever he's mic'd up, it's always interesting.
Well, they had some good play action on that one. That wasn't Heems. Did you catch who that was, Michael? Because I didn't think
it was a wide receiver.
I didn't catch it. I was looking at a question.
Harris.
In other words, you had a good excuse, not me. This is going to go.
And I believe that's the kid from Notre Dame, Michael Pittman Jr.
Jeepers creepers, they made that look easy.
Boy, it's his speed.
That's the thing, right, John?
Yeah.
On offense and especially on defense. Rodgers knows he's in for a competitive afternoon. This could be very high. So I think we all assumed it'd be high scoring. And your thought, John, was that the Packers would find a way. You kind of coaxed me over to that camp, but Michael's got this one as their third loss.
Yeah, I think I was the one that had it the lowest scoring. So this is a little surprising to me. I didn't think the Packers, well, their first drives are always usually pretty good. I know that was their second drive, but with the fumble, technically, I don't know. I'll consider it their first drive, but we'll see as the game goes out, because we've seen the Packers slow down multiple times. Against the Vikings, we saw them slow down. Even against Jacksonville, they slowed down as well. They only scored 24 against Jacksonville. So we'll see if this pace continues.
Well, that was disappointing. But hey, they pay those guys too. And again, this is a very tough team. I see Andrew Grogan in the picture there. If we get him unmuted, I'd love to bring him in anytime. Our marketing man in Paris, France, and Milwaukee area native who, there he is. What do you think of that? A good start, even after the turnover. They get a turnover. Defense looking pretty good, but not so much on that last drive, Andrew.
No, this is a little worrisome. Just if they get the running game, I'm a little worried about the running game for the Colts. We'll see what happens though.
Well, we know that the Packers, their strength is certainly not stopping the run. So you're right.
Yeah, 3rd and 12, that pass to T.Y. Hilton for 13 yards.
Yeah.
Gee. And then there's no killer instinct on that secondary. It's just nobody's coming over to jack anyone, but yeah.
John, early on, you talked about in our pregame show that Jason Ruck, our producer, posted a couple of days ago. You talked about the fact that they just have not come out to play with their hair on fire. You know, they're kind of mailing things in. They certainly did against Jacksonville. That set an alarm or two out. And LaFleur said it, we've got to have the edge. So it would certainly figure, to the points you made, that they would be ready to play today. How do they look so far? I know they've just given up a long touchdown, a couple of plays, long gainers, touchdown. But what do you think? Do you sense a difference? Are they understanding that this is a team that's going to give them all that they can handle and then some?
Well, I think they're totally jacked. And this is maybe even more disconcerting because they're jacked. Their hair is on fire. You could see it on that the run by Hines for -3, which led to 3rd and 12. They're just not good. They're just they just don't have. Preston Smith is not fast, and they obviously saw something in the films where they did the end around where they're jacked and coming to the ball, and you can really abuse with misdirection. And but they're going to have to just get better players on defense, and they've been trying to for the last decade and just haven't been able to do it.
Michael, do you think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback, or, as I was saying earlier, maybe just a notch below,
That's a good question. I think it's tough, very debatable. I would say he's a little below just because of postseason success. As JD mentioned earlier, they'd go to a cold city in the postseason and be eliminated right away. But then again, you look at guys like Eli who have the 2 Super Bowls, but don't have the stats, right? So it's kind of, would you rather value Super Bowls or stats? I don't know. I value Super Bowls more, so I will have him a notch below.
Well, and John, the Packers historian, you'll recall that Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers are joined at the hip in some ways as it relates to the NFL draft, right? All those years ago. Yeah,
they are. Manning tried to pull the old switcheroo and said he didn't want to play. And was it Sam? That's not good to see. Is that a concussion?
It looks like he doesn't know where he is. So, yeah.
Oh, they're putting Jenkins they're putting at center. That's interesting.
So who'd they bring in?
They brought in Runyon to play left guard.
Now, my television decided to take a hiatus. So is Corey Linsley hurt? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Corey Linsley walked off. It looked like, was it a concussion? I couldn't hear the sideline reporter. Now, the only reason why you wouldn't sign Corey Linsley is because it looks like he's starting to pack up the injuries, and he's kind of bad back. But now they have Jenkins at center. They put Runyon at left guard. That's fun. It's interesting because you would have thought that they would put maybe 62 in there. Lucas Patrick at center.
Mm-hmm. No, he's been pretty steady. Yeah. Andrew, you got to be real pleased as a Packer fan with the versatility of Elton Jenkins. Tackle, left tackle, inside as a great guard, Pro Bowl caliber, and now takes over at center.
Let's wait for his contract.
Yeah.
JD, you were right. You mentioned Corey Linsley has a bad back. He left the game due to a back injury, not a concussion. So that's even more worrisome.
Yeah. Boy, I
wonder if it happened on that series where they scored the touchdown, because he was in there for it, wasn't he? After the bad exchange led to the
impact of bad exchange.
To take a look at that and see if he's in there. Michael, keep me posted on play-by-play here, buddy, while my TV set decides that, you know what?
Yeah, Packers just punted, so you've got a little time to get the TV rebooted. Colts will start at about the 40.
Not good at all. Not good at all.
But I'll get to a question here. John from Brookfield. JD, I'll send this one to you since Pip's working on his TV. It says, David Bakhtiari's contract seems to be the talk of the team. Rodgers joked about what he's expecting for Christmas from David. He mentioned gifting the lineman a bunch over the years. Have you heard of any interesting stories, gift exchanges come the holidays? I imagine Favre would have some funny prank gifts.
Boy, I'm gonna have to think about that. I know there are situations where that Favre was extremely cheap, but I know Rodgers I think like go-karts or ATVs for all the linemen. And I think one of the running backs, I'll have to think about who it was. If it was Amon Green, I think bought something when he became an all-pro, or he rushed for over 1,200 yards or something. He got like watches for everybody. I'll have to think that one through. I'll have to ask Mike Clemens about that. Mike covers him every day, and he would know. He does a lot of human interest stories in that vein. But Bakhtiari's, that's an interesting. I remember when we had Wayne Larrivee on earlier in the summer talking about the Packers. He said you have to keep your best players, and that's Bakhtiari, Kenny Clark, and they've done that. They have Aaron Rodgers under contract for a while. But they can. So the cap might go down from about 197 million to say 175 next year because of COVID and lack of revenue coming in from gate receipts. So someone like Corey Linsley, Aaron Jones, they have to be wondering what's out there. Kevin King, I haven't seen him. Have you seen Kevin King yet today? I haven't noticed him.
I have not either.
So I don't know if he's playing. He came up with an Achilles issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will try to keep both of Linsley and Jones, but perhaps they could get a little discount with Linsley, knowing that he's got a back issue.
Wow. That's a pretty impressive first down run. Well, I do remember, Andrew, I know you're a big Favre fan. I do remember a story that Deanna told his beautiful bride, that they were in Mass and they sent the collection plate around. And I think Brett put $1 bill in there or something. So Deanna took a larger bill out of his hands and put it in the basket. So to your point, John, he was a little tight, especially before he got the big contract.
Jeez. And Michael, I think that person was referring to was that McAfee show? I saw Favre on there, and he was talking about giving David a jet ski or something, and there was like a really funny picture of it. I think that's what he probably was referring to. But I don't know. Those are big gifts these guys give to each other.
Pip, what would you give somebody? What would you, if you were the quarterback of the Packers, and what gift would you give to your lineman?
Well, I'd probably be in another financial stratosphere at that point, right?
Right. Yeah.
Slightly, although we know this podcast with Elephant Lee and Andrew and Shannon, we're going to take off, man. But I would hope I would be generous. I'd probably go maybe more the vehicle end of things. I'm just looking here. Carson Wentz gave teammates Beretta shotguns. That's interesting.
That seems like a Carson Wentz thing.
Yeah, all right. What's that, Jason? Yeah.
Yeah, the new
Really?
PlayStation console.
Jason Ruck always coming through in the clutch. Our outstanding producer. All right, they get a hand on it. Well, wouldn't that? Now there's Kevin King. So
Yep.
Good.
Roger said he gave guys saunas, like what built it in their houses.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, snowmobiles. And the soccer standout Cristiano Ronaldo, Bulgari watches. You ever heard of the Bulgari watch, Andrew O'Grogan?
Yes. He's got a lot of money, that Ronaldo guy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of the richest
All right.
athletes.
That went
Yeah.
well. Yep. Come on, guys, get off the field here now. John, how has Kenny Clark played in your estimation
Well,
after the big contract?
he's
Speaking of,
getting doubled, and anytime a defensive lineman gets doubled, you don't hear his name as much. Where I first noticed Kenny Clark was his rookie years, where he would make plays after being doubled. So I see him. They have him opposite Nelson there.
get the tackle, get the tackle. All right. That Green in there again. He's been an impact player.
Yeah, this is the best he's looked.
Now, Mike Pettin doesn't bring the blitz a lot. Do you fellas think that he has become a bit more aggressive, especially knowing that if you get after Rivers, you can rattle him. But again, if you give him the time, he carves you right up. What do you think? You seeing a little bit more aggression from that unit?
I don't know if they've blitzed, but their hair is on fire. They're definitely jacked. It seems like you see Irvin out. You know that Shepard's back there.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like on that touchdown they got burned with a man-to-man defense where some of the cornerbacks turned their backs, anticipating what the play was, instead of being in a zone where they kept it all in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they could pursue when they saw the catch across the way.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers used to get burned a lot against in the Mike Sherman era, especially when they played Donovan McNabb of Philadelphia, where they would have the two corners, Mike McKenzie and Al Harris, and they would be out on islands, and that would be great. However, when the receivers ran downfield, their backs were turned because they played bump man, and when the quarterback scrambled, they could run 50 yards before the defense knew what was happening.
Great block. Oh, man. Was that Sternberger on that or Tunyon? I thought it was Sternberger. Boy, that was yeah. Oh, pretty good early numbers for twin threes there. Oh, love that. That's why we love Jay Sternberger, right, Michael?
Yeah, it's your day one.
Yeah, he's a superstar waiting to happen. He certainly looked great on that one.
DeGuara did that against Minnesota, one or two
Yeah.
plays, and then he blew his knee.
We forget about that rookie, but he's a versatile player, and Lord willing, he comes back healthy because he can help him.
Oh, there's a home on Bakhtiari.
Yeah. Boy, Bakhtiari was outstanding last week.
Yeah, there's an art to when the running back goes on a different direction, you're taking a different angle. The defensive lineman can go a different direction.
Yeah, I guess, huh? He's got the jersey. Covered up the 91.
Well, that's a close one
Yeah.
because if you're within your shoulders, it's okay. But the defensive guy kind of got his torso outside Bakhtiari's shoulders.
Mhm.
So that makes the official, oh, look at that.
Oh no. Oh wow. Did he catch that? Oh no.
Another interception. Two
That
and
one
two
looked like he
games
didn't
for
throw it.
Rodgers.
It was like a back off his back foot kind of a.
Well, you just can't give the ball away like this, guys. That's, I don't know. Again, the center exchange you could talk about, but I don't think you can fault MVS on that, can you, Andrew? I mean, sometimes you just like to see the receiver go grab it, but he made a heck of a play, right?
It was more of a touch throw than it was a really.
Yeah, he just took that away.
Yeah, it was good coverage.
2 turnovers already. 1
Oh,
for Indianapolis. 3 total in the game. Ugly.
Well, the Badgers know all about that, huh? After
Yeah.
they pretty much gave it to a tough Northwestern defense anyway. He came down to earth, Graham Mertz. He had 4 turnovers, 3 picks, and a fumble. Ooh, that was tough to watch, huh?
It was very ugly. And Ohio State's quarterback, Justin Fields, who's supposed to be a top pick in next year's draft, had 4 interceptions on his own against Indiana. So not a good day for the Big Ten. It was very ugly football all across the board.
Give the Hoosiers credit. They made a roaring comeback. Andrew Grogan, again, our marketing aficionado with Shannon Geringer here in Milwaukee. Andrew's in Paris. What's it like in Paris right now, buddy?
well, we're in a pretty strict lockdown. I just went outside earlier, which is kind of like the most fun you can have right now. You get to go out about a couple times a day. You need to go on your phone. There's an app for the phone where you say exactly what you're doing and you check mark. You can go on a 1-hour kind of exercise, or you can go to a store. Being an essential store would be just a grocery store or a pharmacy. So you get 2 times pretty much you can go out. There's people checking. I have not been stopped, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see, but at least they put the Christmas lights out and stuff, so at least that's happening. It's not like it's canceled. I know that that's kind of been the thing. Like, is it going to be like this during the holidays? And we'll have to see what it's like here.
Is Thanksgiving celebrated in France?
Just with my American friends.
Mm-hmm.
What's
So
the
usually you have like Americans. I have, actually you can't even do that right now. I usually have different Americans who are here and they go to each other's house and have like an official American Thanksgiving. Yeah, not too much of that right now.
what's the update on the Notre Dame Cathedral?
Oh yes, that was right by the Packers bar. Actually, that's like a few steps away. I always think because I walked by there, that Hail Mary game, helped a lot a few years ago. But yeah, so they're redoing that, and they're going to build it exactly the same. There was a lot of talk about what they were going to do and how they would do it. But they eventually decided they're just going to completely remake it identical to the way it was.
I think
So
there was some guy in Wisconsin who did a 3-year project where he measured every single bit of the timber and took pictures of it. And then he died about 10 years ago, and they were asking for those measurements because he had world-class engineering measurements.
yeah, I mean that could be. It doesn't, when you look at it, the outside doesn't look as bad. I mean, the back of it was burned down, and then inside, of course. But the structure, I mean, at least from the outside, you still know what it is. So that's the good thing. You know, you can still.
Well, here's a big play, 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're playing zone now where they're keeping the ball in front of them rather than.
Trying to get heat. Come on. Come on. Right there. No. Well, he's not going to. All right. Good play. Good pursuit.
You gotta make that
He's going to
play.
beat you with his feet, right?
Make that play and make it a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Gary.
He's been good lately. Overran a little bit, but put the heat on, slowed him up. Zadarius Smith looks a little bit more like he, as you said, John, we've been saying it like, well, let's just say he's playing with more of an edge. I'll leave the hair on fire out.
All right, here's my attempt to jinx a kicker. He's been very good this year. One of the best kickers out of college from Georgia.
He's got the numbers to prove it there, huh? 19 of 21.
And I failed.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Did he
my
miss?
goodness.
No.
Crossbar.
What?
Hit the
I
He
tur-
jinxed
crossbar.
him. It
I
hit
turned-
the crossbar.
I turned away and it was dead center.
I thought it was at the net.
Oh,
I thought he booted it 10 yards through it. It was short.
okay. Let's.
Oh my
let's-
goodness.
Yeah, and and it could have just gone the other way and been 3 points.
That's a turnover because you get the ball where it was held. Where
Yeah,
the ball was held. So, wow, what a crazy game this is. So
it is.
Rodgers throws an interception, and but didn't it look like Rodgers was thrown off his back foot with not the zip that he normally?
Well,
Yeah,
you get
it
so
did look
surprised
like
when he
he-
throws a pick anyway. That.
Like,
Sorry, Michael.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say it did look like he was fading away there. It seemed like the ball took forever to get in MVS's direction.
Yeah, with good coverage. I love the background you have there with Andrew Grogan from Elephant Lee. See, it's why we're thankful to be teamed up with these great marketing people. Pip and Dodds. We're going to have to add something, though, with Michael. I don't know. There's time. Good.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
nice move.
Nice. My wife walks by. Will you stop yelling? I'm sorry. After 40 years of having to be quiet and be objective in the press box. Yeah, 2 turnovers, 0 points. We're definitely going to watch for you. Talk about dodging bullets against a good team.
wow, MVS was breaking open on a. If Jordy Nelson were still there, they did a great. He and Rodgers had this great thing where he would throw the ball across the field and let Nelson run to it. And I wonder if they can develop that with MVS at some point.
Make a miss. We haven't seen Jamal Williams at all. Isn't he active today?
Yeah, some on special teams so far. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he came into on a 3rd down and picked up a blitz.
Mm-hmm. He probably obviously likes the speed of Jones.
So the Packers pass protect has been pretty good. Now, are they going to blitz? They have speed to blitz. Looks like not now.
Look at him go. All right, running hard.
3rd and 1.
So earlier, John, I saw you see Billy Turner, Patrick in there, Bakhtiari, Jenkins at center, but I saw Runyon in as well.
Yeah, Runyon came in to play left guard.
Right. As he has Pat, we were wondering where's Lucas Patrick, but he's in there also. So
He's got
I
right
do
guard.
like Runyon. I like Runyon a bunch. 3rd and inches. They certainly don't look like they're going to throw it.
Three tight ends in the game right here.
What do I know? Oh, keep going.
I think he got there.
Jamal Williams?
Yep. there it is.
Yeah, right. It was all 30 on that one.
It was a right foot mark, so that's even better.
Andrew, you've been great about setting us up with guests from the network, if you will, that you formed. There's great people. We had AJ Armstrong last week, a lot of fun, and You've got someone coming up, we believe, who has a tie to Fox 6 in Milwaukee. I remember him. Tell us about him.
Sure. His name is Andy Siefkiss. He has a brand that's called Get Busy Living, which is a pretty inspiring story he'll talk about. But of course, he's from Mequon. Lives in Cedarburg, and he had in 1998. He was an intern at Fox 6. And he has some stories to tell that you might remember.
I hope he doesn't have some stories to tell on me, guys. That's all I know.
Oh no, it's a good one from what I heard so far. Maybe
Sure people are on the
Well,
edge.
we would love to hear everything. It'll be great.
Yes. Yeah. People, yeah. My wife's in the background says, I have some stories for you.
That's a
Maybe
whole
I
nother
should
podcast.
I'll walk away and Sally can come on in here, bring the ratings up. PippinDodds.com/ask for your questions in this viewing party. John Dodds, Tom Pippins, Michael Rachel. We're delighted to be with you and thankful for Andrew O'Grogan and our amazing producer. Just gets it done in an MVP level every week. Jason Ruck at WisconsinSportsStream.com, WSS.com, Facebook, and Twitter.
Got a question here. Becky from Shorewood. She says, the special teams has been, let's just say, specifically not so good this year. How worried are you about this with the Packers preparing to be championship contenders?
I'm very worried. They've been pretty good, but obviously they gave up the touchdown last week, right, to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been a little bit sloppy. The J.K. Scott had a punt blocked, if I'm not mistaken. They've got to shore that up if they want to go as far as they hope to this season. What do you think, John?
Yeah, they've had a lot of. Here we go.
EQ?
Whoa! Is that
Oh!
State Brown?
Yeah, EQ.
You know, that could be. You could possibly
Yes.
rule that a touchdown because the goal line goes forever out of bounds.
You think we'll get a replay here?
Yeah. So unless he stepped out of bounds. See,
Yeah, I think he's short and out.
yeah, he looks like he's short.
Stiff arm on Rhodes, the veteran. That's impressive. Where did he come from, right? We know he's had the injuries that have set him back last couple of seasons, came back recently. All right, right into the end zone, guys. Play from ahead. Yeah. Oh, yes. Hold on. Still looking around. Where the
See, you can tell the Packers are ready to play this because don't get COVID.
Oh my. Well, Aaron Jones doesn't have any. I'm still a little bit concerned. Are we good to go here, guys? Did it take Jenkins' recovery, Michael, you think?
No, I think Jones got in on the first. Yeah, I think he's in and then the strip.
Absolutely bludgeon the defender.
Yeah, scored. What I like about this is he fumbled the ball and there's like 2 or 3 guys ready to jump on it. So they're jacked to play. They're ready to play today. That maybe not have been the case against Minnesota or against Jacksonville.
14-7. What you love about the one thing about Matt LaFleur's team is, as great as he has been, Rivers, I don't know, maybe he thinks it was a fumble. They have had issues when they've had to play from behind, right? So this is a team you want to stay ahead of because in the losses, they haven't been close, right, John? I mean, there have been some blowout losses that haven't been pretty, in particular the 49ers last year twice.
Right. If you can dictate the other team their playbook, and if you can minimize their playbook, if the Packers are ahead, the other team is not going to be able to run as much. So the biggest example is week 1. Cook of Minnesota couldn't run as much because the Packers were ahead the whole game. So you know they're going to pass, and when Kirk Cousins has to pass, just force them because their running game is so good. But now this is to get back to your, actually you had a special teams question. That was a good question. Absolutely, I think J.K. Scott is good. He's a good directional punter this year. I think Crosby is still elite. He's been dealing with some nagging injuries the past couple of weeks. The issue has been there's been so many injuries and so many subs here and subs there that they're bringing people off the street on coverage units. And I think that's the problem. I know that they had a punt blocked, I think it was against Houston, because Williams, the rookie running back from Notre Dame, was activated because everybody else was down, and he missed a block the first time he's ever played on special teams. So they're dealing with a lot of injuries and a lot of new people. And I guess that's what the coaches get paid for, to produce. But I think if everybody comes back, then I think the special teams will just naturally improve.
Mm-hmm.
And Pip, I see our great guest Andy has joined us, so I'll give it back to you so you can introduce
that's what
him.
Jason Ruck mentioned. So we bring in Andy Siefkas. Hi, Andy. You with us?
On mute. Imagine that. First time.
Hey, you haven't changed a lick in 22 years or whatever. How you doing, man?
Same for you, my friend. Good to see you. It's been 22 years since that great internship at WITI Fox 6.
You know, my senior moments come and go, and a lot of times I don't remember, but I do remember your name, that's for sure, and the handsome face. It's really nice to have you with us. And first of all, how about a quick comment or two on the Packers? What do you think so far at Indy? They've dodged a bullet, we were saying, with the 2 turnovers leading to 0 points.
Yeah, having 2 turnovers and having a 7-point lead is that's not normal, and we're not going to take that one for granted for sure. So they're definitely in a good spot, being up 14-7 into the second quarter here.
Now, I know when we were together, you always had a great work ethic, and you told a story about how thrilled you were to meet the Hammer, Henry Aaron, and we'll ask you to talk about that here in a moment, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Oh boy.
Intercepted, yes. Oh, yes. Ooh-wee. Is that Kirksey?
Yes.
He's the fellow they got from
And I
Cleveland.
think that ball got tipped at the line. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wynn got a piece of it.
yeah.
You know, Wynn's impressive. He's been inactive the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. And again, you get a little bit of heat on the quarterback, and he's going to toss it up there. But that was just a terrific play by Wynn and a nice interception by Kirksey.
Kirksey grabbed that like MVS.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it, though, right?
Yeah. Yep, got it.
He doesn't have the hands that Henry Aaron had out there in the outfield. So, Andy, you'll have to tell us about the opportunity to meet Hank Aaron. He was one of the most impressive people I've ever had the privilege of meeting. Packers in good field position here. Sternberger, all right, making a mark. So tell us about that story, will you, Andy?
Sure. So I tried and true. I'm a diehard Packers fan, but I bleed Brewers, blue and yellow for sure. But yeah, so back in 1998, I had that opportunity to make $5 a day as an intern for Fox 6. But I have.
You were one of the highest paid we ever had because of your back.
Yeah, I was, but I forget what the occasion was, Pip. But we were down at County Stadium because this was before the Big Blue incident with Miller Park, and we were going to do a live spot before your sportscast, and when we were doing that, I forget who it was playing catch in the outfield. The Brewers were warming up the pitcher that was going to pitch that day, and the catcher, he was an Australian catcher for the Brewers. I forget his name, but
Dave Nielsen, I think. Yeah.
yes, he threw the ball into the stands, and I told you I'd never gotten a ball at a baseball game, and you're like, well, go get it. Nobody's here. So I hopped the fence, went 10 rows up, got the ball, had the ball in my pocket, and about a half an hour later, the fielders are out on the field warming up. Fans are just starting to come in, but then all of a sudden, it was almost as if it was like a downpour of rain with how quick everybody got off the field. In particular, the Major League Baseball players for both teams. And we go and we look in the dugout, and Hank Aaron's in the dugout, and there are all Major League Baseball players, both teams, lined up like little kids waiting to meet Hank Aaron, and they all have a baseball.
Unbelievable. We're just going to pause right here, if you don't mind,
Sure.
for a moment. See if they get into the end zone. Yes, they do. Oh, that's nice. What a nice drive, John. And if we'll come back to the story, but I think Jay Sternberger, again, key in there. Jamal Williams with the first down, looking good.
Yeah, that's big. And another score after a turnover. And you raise a good point. The 2 turnovers the Packers have had, resulted in no points, a missed field goal on a doink on the crossbar, and a return strip fumble.
Well, how big was that turnover, Michael, huh? And then to be able to cash in, as John is saying here, to go up 21-7. Nice.
Yeah, it's even more important to get turnovers when your own offense is turning the ball over, because it's very difficult to win in the NFL when you lose that turnover battle. So, and on top of that, to get some points off of turnovers finally is a relief for the offense.
Yeah. So, Andy Cephas, please tell us more about that outstanding story, the opportunity to meet Hank Aaron. I think he was one of the finest gentlemen I ever had the privilege of meeting in the sports world. It had to be a great thrill. So anyway, he's in the dugout.
There's all Major League Baseball players, nobody else waiting in line. And I looked at you, Pip, and I said, look at these. These grown men, these professional athletes are like little kids, because they're meeting the true home run king of all time.
That's right.
And you looked at me and you said, Andy, you've got a baseball in your pocket. And I said, I do, Pip, but I also have credentials. I'm with the media. I can't go in there. And he said, take off your lanyard with your credentials, give it to me, and walk over there and see what happens. So I did. And I was the only non-baseball player in the Brewers dugout, got to go in line, had the opportunity to have Hank Aaron autograph that ball that I grabbed from the stands. And I was walking on top of the world. And then we went up to the press box after that. And if you recall from County Stadium, there's that mezzanine that you can sit out in front of the press box to be out in the open. Mm-hmm. So I would go out any chance I had, and I'd listen to Bob Uecker and Jim Powell call the game 5 feet above me live. And it was the 7th inning. And I was eating a brat and enjoying the game. And I was out there by myself. And then all of a sudden, Hank Aaron comes out. And he sits and he looks at me and he says, do you mind if I sit and watch the game with you?
Man.
So I mean, that was the most special half inning of baseball that I will ever have in my life. Being able to have a casual conversation with Hank the Hammer, and then live above me 5 feet, Bob Uecker calling the game. I mean, that was just a priceless moment that I will cherish forever. And I have the baseball mounted on the wall in my man cave in the room behind me. It's absolutely special.
Yeah. I know you remember it like it was yesterday, and not surprising that you became an entrepreneur. You know, you weren't phased. You just went up there and did your thing. Tell people briefly as we continue on with the pack up 21-7 off the turnover, Rodgers to Davante Adams. A little bit about your business, Andy, and your family and what have you after all these years.
Yeah, sure. So never left Ozaukee County. My folks still live in Thiensville, and I live in Cedarburg, Wisconsin now. And I've got married to a lovely teacher in German who teaches in the Germantown School District. And I've got a 12-year-old Jack and a 9-year-old Kate. And about 2.5 years ago, I started a lifestyle brand, we call it, called Get Busy Living. And the name comes from the greatest movie of all time, in my opinion, and that would be Shawshank Redemption. It's a theme that started in an annual trip that I took with friends of mine starting back in 2009, and we called it our Get Busy Living trip. And to commemorate this lifestyle, we made up T-shirts and hats back in 2017, and we had strangers approach us when we were out in Colorado and ask, "Where did you guys get those hats and those shirts? We want to get them." And everybody looked at me in the group and said, "Talk to this guy." And that's how it all started. And it's a brand that's very similar to Life is Good. I don't know if you've seen the T-shirts with the little stick man. His name is Jake. He's either throwing a Frisbee or walking the dog or playing catch. But we're trying to emulate the success that they've had with the Life is Good brand with Get Busy Living.
Terrific. Well, I know you're a huge Packer fan as well, and you have a story that I think John Dodds, our Packers historian, can get into that. But right now, Michael, Indy moving the ball. Good first down there for Rivers and his mates.
Yeah, it's an important drive for Indianapolis. They'll get the ball to start the second half as well. So if they put together a long drive followed by some sort of points, they'll be right in this game.
John, your observations.
Very pleased with how the Packers are playing now. Turnovers, who would have thunk when Indianapolis gets in trouble, they've lost games with turnovers. They lost to Jacksonville in week 1 with turnovers. So they lost to Baltimore with turnovers. So turnovers hurt them. And if you can put pass rush on Rivers, you can get him to throw things up. And so far, they're getting pass rush on him.
And they do, to your point, they just seem to be the Packers on both sides of the ball. And we know this isn't the most gifted defense in the league. They are playing hard. You can tell that they know they're in for a good game. And this is one they'd like to have, especially to keep pace with the Saints, who won earlier, to go to 8 up and 2 down.
National TV game. Everybody's watching it.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, this would be a nice hold, wouldn't it? 3rd and 2.
Is that Jacoby Brissett in? Yeah, that's not Rivers.
It is. Oh, the momentum.
That's close.
Sure.
Where is he going to mark that? His left foot or his right foot? Oh.
Well, whatever.
Right foot.
First down. Yeah.
That was interesting. Brissett came in for one play to hand it off and back to Rivers.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe because he has that option to run, right? Which we know Phillip is, and he's pretty much a statue, especially at this stage in his career. Michael, I think your point is well taken, as always, that if you can somehow hold them here, because if they score and then get the ball back, all of a sudden you got a game again.
Right, yeah, and Indianapolis is going to do whatever they can to make this drive a long one, too, so Green Bay doesn't get this ball back.
I was going to say, I haven't seen Jonathan Taylor, but there's 28. So can you, Andy, I'm smiling ear to ear here as our guest. Nice to have you with us. And after all those years together at Fox 6, it's wonderful that you're on here. Big Packers fan, you have a story relating to the Washington football franchise, known back then as the Redskins.
Yeah, I do. One of my fondest memories is the first Monday night football game. I don't think it was the first game after 9/11, but I know it was the first Monday night football game after 9/11. And that was when Chris Gizzi, a backup linebacker, I believe he was for the Packers at that time, I forget where he served or what branch he served in the military, but he ran out onto the field and the crowd erupted, and I can close my eyes and I can still remember just feeling and hearing the energy at Lambeau Field. And that's what's so great about sports, right? Is the unity that it brings people together. And I think that's why sports are so important now, especially, right here in America, right here in our own backyard. The dividedness that we have been observing, there's a common ground when it comes to sport, and especially when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. And that was proof of it back then, coming together as a country, for sure.
You said it, yeah, when he was waving Old Glory, sprinting across the field. I remember being on the line. It was amazing. I'd like to ask John about that, but how about Rivers, first of all? Get one. No flag, out of bounds. Great coverage by Jerry. How super it is, John, to have him back there. I said that Philip Rivers is a statue, and he said, no, I'm going to show you something, because he had deked the sack there and made a great pass for a big completion before the out of bounds play.
Yeah, he's wily. No, I remember that.
I love the wily veteran. Yes. Were you at that game, John, as well?
Yeah,
Washington,
I was at that game also. And I remember that was Jeff George's final game in his NFL career. I think Marty Schottenheimer was the coach of Washington, I believe, and Green Bay won it 37-0 or 38-0. It was just a big blowout. And
wide open.
I remember interviewing Santana Dotson, who left Green Bay to sign with Washington. And I saw him in the locker room, the Redskin locker room. So I went up to him and I said, put this in perspective. And he said, 2 weeks ago, everybody in this room cared about their bling, cared about the kind of car that they drove in, the player parking lot. He said, right now, is my family safe? How are the police doing? What, how is our country? He said, none of this matters. And it's privileged for us to play football. And I maintain that probably saved Major League Baseball, because I think at that time, some of the super agents were ready to go on strike and really try to take control over Major League Baseball. But 9/11, they all started realizing, what are we doing? I mean, we're earning a good living. We've got a good thing going. So I thought that was, and then Bud Selig kind of came together with the MLB at the time, the Players Association, and they extended the contract. So the world really changed after 9/11 that year.
Chris Gizzi, who served in the Air Force, and yeah, to your point, Andrew, so true. Sports can unite across levels that sometimes in society it's very challenging to do so, as we know in 2020 especially. So that's wonderful. What a moment. And isn't Gizzi still with the Pack, John? I think he's the strength and conditioning coach.
Yep.
Yeah? Boy, he had a build on him, that's for sure.
He did. I wasn't going to mess with him.
Pardon me?
I wasn't going to mess with him.
No, absolutely. Michael, Rachel, your thoughts here as Rivers and company do just what we hoped the Packers wouldn't allow them to do, put themselves in position to come within a touchdown before halftime.
Yeah, it's a big drive. Wait and see what happens. I think if you hold them to a field goal, even it'll be a 2-score game going into the second half, but they get the ball first. So if they come away with any points, you gotta stay glued to this game. It's not over by any means.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
There was a big play. It looked like Kevin King made a gamble where he was going to try to pick a pick and misjudged the route. So Kevin King, you get rusty after 5 weeks.
And I think some Packers fans are a little upset Michael Pittman Jr. is having such a good game. Rookie out of USC, went one of the first picks in the second round this year. He's had a good game. I'm not exactly sure what his stats are. I'm looking him up right now, but I'm sure Packer fans aren't happy to see a rookie receiver. He's got 3 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown.
Well, it's like a business investing in research and development. It comes back 5 years later. That's the greatest thing when you have a new product. And that's what the Packers did with Jordan Love. That was they scouted him for an entire year. Our Utah State contact that came on from the Utah State website said the Packers brought 3 to 5 people every game. So they knew what they're getting, and they got a guy who had an off junior year, and he was available at the end of the first round. So we'll see. That's a long-term investment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks pretty darn good today, that's for certain. Andy Cephas, you've talked about your business, and it doesn't surprise me that you are giving back as well. As you were saying, it makes the business complete. Would tell us, as you will here in between plays, about the Giving Back program.
Yeah, it's what makes us different from other lifestyle brands and other companies that are selling their products. And we believe in giving back to both environmental and humanitarian not-for-profits. We need to preserve our mental state and the environment around us if we're able to enjoy it and truly enjoy that get busy living lifestyle. And so therefore, since the onset of our business, when we launched in late 2018, every quarter we calculate our top line revenue, and we give 5% of that top line revenue back to not-for-profits. Our first check and our first not-for-profit donation back in 2018 was less than $100 for that quarter. But I'm proud to say, in 2020, we just gave back to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation last quarter, which is out in Maryland, and we gave them a check for over $500. And every quarter, every quarter it goes up as far as the donations that we make to not-for-profits.
Well, kudos to you, and not surprising, remembering the young man who turned into a successful businessman. It's nice to have you with us, Andy Siefkas. However, it's not nice to see Rivers connect and put the heat on. 1:52, guys, for Rogers and his mates to try to get some more points. Otherwise, we've got a one-score game here.
Plenty of time.
Too. And again, you were saying Preston Smith, John. He looked a little vulnerable there. I don't know if did he have coverage? What was he doing there on the tight end?
He tried to roll a zone, and he saw it, and I don't know if they're picking both touchdowns are the result of picking on the linebackers. Pittman across on Kirksey, and then that one on Preston Smith. If you need Preston Smith in coverage, you might want to reassess your scheme.
Nice catch, nice throw over the outstretched arms of Kamal Martin. So, Andy Siefkas, you're a big Packers fan from way back also, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's being 44 years old. I've lived long enough to know what the Battle of the Bays was back in the day. When it was, it wasn't a. The history of the franchise was there, but the success wasn't. And for over two decades strong now, being able to hang our hat on having two top 10 quarterbacks of all time, where the green and gold has been a bit spoiling, if you will. But it's for those that are of a certain age and older, the glory years were there, and then they weren't, and they've been back, even though we don't have as many titles as Tom Brady does necessarily, but we've been a front runner and a contender for decades now, and it's been fantastic.
I couldn't agree more. It's been an amazing stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the days at the TV station when we would beg them, former Packer John Anderson, the outstanding linebacker out of Michigan, Waukesha, as you'll recall. He was with us and did a super job. We'd be begging the boss for some Packers content. And then it got to a point where it never ended. It was wall-to-wall coverage. John, it really has been quite a couple of decades, hasn't it? For Packers. Yeah. Not enough Super Bowls maybe, but.
No, and you're right. It's a privilege to watch Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers play for almost 30 years now. And we deserve it. Because I could go over from the time Bart Starr hurt his shoulder and you start going Don Horn, Jim Delgado, Scott Hunter, Jerry Tiggy, after watching all those players perform. And the only one and the best one, Len Dickey, then breaks his leg in two places and then has a hip issue. And then so you go Whitehurst, Randy Wright, then Mikowski gives you a ray of sunshine and optimism. And then Freddie Joe Nunn tosses him on his shoulder, and he was never the same after 1990. So it was just a comedy of just brutal quarterback play. Jim Delgado, or Vince Ferragamo, I think that was the the worst, probably the nadir of the Packers. And
Uh-oh.
oh, goodness gracious. You got to be kidding me.
That's
The
why
bounce.
you've been very upset with Darius Shepard fielding punts and kickoffs. Oh, man.
What are the odds that that ball is going to stick?
Have backspin on it. Yeah.
Or
Oh,
did-
it might have hit the goal line. That might have hit the goal line.
Mm.
I'd like to see that one more time.
Looked like one of John
That was
Dodd's
the
golf
second bounce.
for that backspin. Hitting beyond the flag and rolling back.
This is really close.
yeah, that hit.
You think it did? I don't know if it did.
I
It's
think it did.
close.
It definitely, the point, oh,
You
yeah,
gotta look at it.
the point was over, but did it hit? That's always like a basketball question I had at a Marquette game with a ref where the ball hits next to the sidelines and part of the ball, is over the line. Is it out of bounds? The answer is no, because the ball is curved and it didn't touch the out of bounds. That looks like it did.
Yeah, that one did.
Well, that would be a big break, wouldn't it? And as you say, maybe you can't blame Shepard too much on that. What are the odds, right? As you point out.
Well, when in doubt, my go-to move is to blame Shepard.
That was a big play though, because that'll bring the ball out to the 25, and that was inside the 5. And Indianapolis still has 3 timeouts as well. So if you're just running the ball trying to get out of your own end zone, Indianapolis could have got the ball back, and now the Packers can definitely try to get downfield for a field goal.
It's a game of inches.
Yes, it is, John. That's why you're a wily veteran. I love the fact that you've dropped that in there a couple of times today. It's the Pippen Dodds Packers podcast, along with John Dodds and Michael Rachel. I'm Tom Pippins. Our special guest is Andy Seifkes, former Fox 6 intern, doing great things now as an entrepreneur. We're thankful that our marketing ace, Andrew O'Grogan from Elephantly, brought him here. Shannon Geringer is with him as well. We've got a super team. And once again, none of this happens. I'd be talking to myself, and my wife would be telling me to go out on the porch and stop talking so much if we didn't have Jason Ruck with us from WisconsinSportsStream.com, our producer. Does it every week, does it quietly in a humble fashion, and does it well. And we thank DJ's Goalpost in Menominee Falls, Don Matovich. We thank Professional Construction, Inc. as well. PippinDodds.com/asks. The questions go to Michael Rachel, and he shares them. It's ask singular. PippinDodds.com/ask.
Oh, Andy, I do remember you. Did you cover Packer games or Marquette games or Brewer games? Because you look very familiar in that era.
Yeah, I did a little bit of everything. To be honest, it's I had such a great time in 1998. I mean, that's the heyday for the Packers as well. So it's just an awesome time to be involved in sports and be able to go in the locker room and get the behind the scenes. So I did my undergrad up at UW Oshkosh, and I convinced Pippen Company to have me tag along, not just during the summer months, while in between semesters and over break. I did help out in the fall as well. So I did cover, in addition to, baseball, I did cover, a little bit of Packers. But again, that was such a hot commodity they wouldn't necessarily let interns tag along unless they needed somebody to grip for them. But I did participate in a lot of Marquette interviews and Bucks interviews as well.
He was busy back then, and he's the founder of Get Busy Living. Really proud of all you've done, and best of all, you're still the same wonderful gentleman I knew back in the day. And I'm not just saying that because I'm concerned you'll tell some stories about me. That's a good way to start it, right?
Well, you bribed him with $5 a day in bread and water, I think it was.
Yeah. That's why he I think that's part of the reason, Michael, that he went out to start his own business. And he said, look, is this what I'm going to get working for somebody? I'm going to be the main man, if you will.
Well, it's one of those things, it's as you progress through life, it's what makes you rich as a human being. And I think our view of what makes us rich when we're younger, when we're in our teens and 20s and early 30s, it changes. Your perspective changes, and it's not about accumulating wealth anymore. It's more about what makes you rich in life. What made me rich in life in 1998, making $5 a day, is having a baseball from, hanging on my wall in the room behind me from the Hammer, and the memories, that go with that as well. And
yeah, but very proud. I mean, to be, I tell people I was blessed to collect a paycheck every 2 weeks, basically for 40 years. When you're an entrepreneur, and JD and the same, John Dodds, Jason, our incredible producer who worked at Fox 6, I'm not sure if you cross paths or remember the name, but he's as good as it gets, has gone into his own business. And so great respect for people such as yourselves who are leaders.
Well, Wayne Gretzky said it. He coined the phrase, I believe. It's you miss 100% of the shots in life you don't take. And there's just truth to that. And there's so much that you can do with modern technology. So if you leverage it and, jump into the deep end, it's not as painful as people think it is.
Well done, my friend. Well done. It's been just such a joy to have you on the Pip and Dodds Packers podcast. So that play didn't materialize very well there, John. I don't know as anything was open deep for Rodgers as we look at the touchdown. That was a heck of a throw, right?
Yeah. It's a good route, too. The coverage wasn't horrible. It just was just getting a linebacker like that who's a pass rusher in coverage is a good scheme. This is big because you're not going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and the clock is winding down here. They need a big play in a hurry. Come on.
Oh, how'd he get away from that?
Well, it was one of those plays where he normally wouldn't, but the clock is ticking. They've got a timeout in the bag. Looks like it. Maybe not.
Yeah, they used it.
Okay. Took a couple of seconds, didn't it? Now, you figure you've got at least a couple of plays, don't you guys? But you got to pick up the first down.
Aaron Rodgers at 37 just couldn't quite get there.
But
It's impressive to get out of that first.
Yeah, to get away from Buckner. That's good. But you're right. What do you call here, guys? Michael, what would you like to see?
Well, you got to go sideline because you got no timeouts left, 21 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a quick out route to Devontae Adams, get the fresh set of downs and go from there. It's like a 5-yard.
I suppose if you don't make it now, you got to let the clock wind down, Jim.
I'll fake an out route and do a post to MVS. Go for it.
Why not? My wife always says, go for the bomb. Go for the bomb. Take the shot, as Andy Siepka says.
There it is.
He is. He's going for it. No. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh!
Shoot.
Face mask.
Oh,
And there is
it's
a flag.
And pass interference, get the ball.
Yes.
Wow. How did they get single coverage back there?
MVS.
Pretty good route there too, JD.
Oh,
He's holding him.
Good call.
Oh, I don't
MVS
know.
getting a flag.
Does MVS hook it though?
No, he's getting hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got him.
Wow.
Andrew, do you go as bonkers over these games as I used to?
What a
And still
pass.
do?
Yeah, it's
Isn't it
heavy
fun?
anxiety, but again, that's the good distraction, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty to be worried about besides sports, but sports is a good distraction for this
It's
very
a
reason.
Wonderful distract. You said it. All right, now if they can get in the end zone. No timeouts, Michael, right? 20 seconds.
Right. Yeah. Anything but a sack is fine here. Oh, and a turnover. You'll get 4 plays.
This looks like it'll be it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. All right. Jamal Williams. Loving it. There's the answer, Michael.
I can't believe Indianapolis had single coverage on a deep ball with 20 seconds to go. That's
CPQ is
ridiculous.
good luck, man.
There's Andrew O'Grogan. You got to be happy with that, too.
Oh, yeah.
I can't thank you enough, Andrew, for bringing Andy Siefkas back. It's been terrific to catch up with him.
I think A-Rod's going to comment on that play that Darius Leonard didn't guard that as well as maybe the San Francisco middle linebacker.
Well, yeah, that would be a surprise, wouldn't it?
But I wonder if there's a reason why Jamal Williams got that pass. A-Rod sent it a message.
Yeah. You're not
Don't mess with hey, Scarecrow, don't play with fire kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, this is a heck of a first half against a very good defense. Maybe they're not quite as good as I thought, but I think you got to give credit where it's due, Michael. Yeah. This offense has been outstanding. It's been good to get Lazard back. He hasn't been a big factor. There was talk he'd be on a pitch count, quote unquote, coming back from the core injury and the surgery. This is a nice play.
Yeah, some of the drives have been started by nice field position due to turnovers that the defense has caused, and the missed field goal as well that Blankenship had. But JD could be right, where he said earlier in the week that this Indianapolis defense hasn't gone against these top quarterbacks other than Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson hasn't had a good year either. So maybe Indianapolis is saying, well, I guess this is what a good offense looks like.
Yeah, excuse me. All right. Yeah, and back to the points that you guys have made, you a couple of turnovers, 0 points. How big was that? The fumble, the Rodgers interception, and he comes back with 3 touchdown passes, right? And then the Jones run for a score.
And as a Packer fan, you have to be nervous at the end of a second quarter in any field position.
Yeah.
That the team, they're going to give up a 50-yard run and they're going to kick a field goal or something. It's been a common theme probably for the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but they took a knee. They haven't watched the films. They haven't watched enough game tapes.
28-14 at half. You guys want to take a little break?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. John shrugging his shoulders. He's kind of the captain of the team out here.
Well, guys, yep, you're the coach. So, but no, it's been impressive so far. The defense has generated turnovers. The speed of Indianapolis, Packers have basically kept them in front of them on defense. They have been burned twice on the 2 touchdowns, but on the whole, this has been really impressive.
It will be interesting to see what kind of adjustments the Colts make on defense, Michael, at half. And as you say, they get the ball coming out of the locker room. So to me, this game is far from over, but you feel good with a 2 touchdown advantage.
Yeah, you feel really good with a 2 touchdown advantage. Get a stop right out of the break and hopefully coast to the finish line.
You need 42 to win this, at least. You got to score a couple more times.
Andrew, out there in Paris, France, from Elephantly, our marketing genius. You agree?
Yeah, and I was also wondering, did you guys already mention this when I was off? How many fans are there?
They're one of the few. They're one of the few venues that allow it, that allow fans, and so there's some Packer fans there because I know Jamal Williams has been waving at them and pointing to them.
Yeah.
So they're distanced, but there might be 15,000 people in there. I don't know. But it's one of the few venues that still has fans.
I feel like Rodgers is stepping it up for the fans.
Is Andy still with us, Andrew, or is he gone?
No, I'm here. And you know what? That's a good point that you bring up, Andrew. And, John, I'm here curious for your perspective, being a former athlete and, the energy of the crowd and having fans in the stands, and just, you've heard it in some of the commentary from the Packers and, from LaFleur as well, not having that 13th or that 12th man rather, in the stands is, it's hard to get amped up sometimes, and it's hard to keep that energy. So, I did hear a lot that, a lot of the Packers themselves were looking forward to this weekend because there was actual human beings and not cardboard cutouts in the stands with pumped in crowd noise as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that there are 2 factors that they laid eggs in terms of effort against Minnesota and almost did against Jacksonville. But usually you can overcome it because of the efficiency of Rodgers, but I think the wind was so bad or such a factor in that game, in both of those games, that the Packers couldn't overcome it coming in with kind of a fat, dumb, and happy attitude where you're going, oh yeah, we got this one. Rodgers will pull it out. Well, Rodgers couldn't pull it out. So they went 1-1 in those games and didn't look good in the Jacksonville game. But Rodgers still on the road, Rodgers, it's quieter. And those there's nothing worse than the offensive tackles not being able to look at the defensive ends at the snap. They have to look at the center. If they look inside and then watch the snap because the crowd noise is so loud, and then they look out, and that split second, that fraction of a second is such an advantage for the defensive ends in Minnesota and Seattle that, well, on the whole, not having fans on the road really helps the Packers. And home field, other than the bye and resting a week, doesn't really matter, I don't think, to the Packers.
Great question, Andy. I'm going to exit. You can be the moderator here. You're doing awesome, man. It's really been a joy to have you with us, and wish you and your family all of God's blessings, a happy Thanksgiving, and keep on keeping on. You would be welcome on the Pip and Dodds podcast anytime you want.
Fantastic. I really appreciate the conversation, guys. And let's go Pack. And we got to watch this all the way up to the end. To your point, you never know what's going to happen in those last 2 minutes, even if you have a 14-point lead. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And don't forget, we all got one life. Get out there and get busy living it.
There you go. I like that. Every moment. Celebrate the moments. I have a 92-year-old friend tells me that all the time. And this has been a special moment or 2 or 3 to have you with us. Take good care, okay?
All right. Thanks so much. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Andy Cephas. Michael, what's going through your mind about this ball game?
Well, first of all, I thought that it's great perspective from Andy too, right? Go live your life. It's kind of, you lose track of that sometimes when you get into a daily routine of everything, you just over and over, and you lose track of important things in life. So that's awesome, his perspective that he brought today. Yeah, 28-14, kind of a weird game, a lot of turnovers. So there's definitely some negatives to take away, as well as the positive of scoring 28 points and being up 14. But I think the defense is actually playing pretty well, given circumstances of the Packers turning the ball over twice in the first half. But we'll see the second half. A lot of game left.
Mm-hmm.
This is the third straight game where MVS is making big-time plays. And that was just stretching the boundary. Boy, if that guy could, and the Colts, that's a double-edged sword. Why did you interfere with them? Why didn't you let them try to catch it? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That was a big, his boundary speed is just key. And you got Lazard back, and they're working the tight ends really well, it seems like, on the flanks. This is the most innovative offense I've seen. So they've done a nice job.
And you pointed out MVS. Boy, oh boy, it's nice to see 83 stepping up, Andrew Grogan, and really starting to fulfill some of the potential that the Packers saw when they went after him.
Yeah, to score 28. I mean, this is just, we couldn't ask for more. I just get a little worried with a shootout, especially with, I feel like Phillips been through a few of those before in his career, so we'll see how the second half goes.
The other thing that struck me is how good Jenkins is. Elton Jenkins.
Versatile.
Right to center, and he's making these shotgun snaps like he's an all-pro. I mean, this guy, you could arguably say that this is Gutekunst's best draft pick in terms of, for when he got in the second round. He can play any offensive position, any offensive line position. And when they drafted him, they said that. He played left tackle in college, he played center, and they drafted him to be a center. But he's just a solid all-pro type guard. And what a player!
Yeah, that's another salient point there. This kid is really, you haven't noticed him at all since he went over there, And again, they've had musical chairs to play on that O line almost since the get-go of the season. And Runyon in there, Lucas Patrick, of course, has been solid. So, and certainly it's very big to get Bakhtiari and his big contract back. So encouraging, very encouraging. PippinDodds.com/ask for your questions. We appreciate those coming your way. You can go also to WisconsinSportsStream.com, Facebook and Twitter.
Did
And
you want-
Michael will get
Want
it
to
to
take a
you.
break, or
Yeah.
did you
Well,
want
you know, we've gone so close now. I don't know. We don't have
Okay.
maybe a couple of minutes or so left. All right. We're going to take a break because that's what our producer told us to do. We'll be back. Second half. We are underway in the second half with the Packers leading the Colts at Indianapolis 28-14 with our Packers historian, the great John Dodds, and a former Brookfield Academy basketball star, and a rising star in our business. We're delighted to have him. He's a member of the team. Michael Rachel, Andrew O'Grogan from Elephantly, our marketing guru, is with us, and he brought us a fabulous guest. Thank you for bringing Andy Siefkas with us. And entrepreneur, used to be a Fox 6 intern, great stuff. So good to be together, fellas, for the second half. A huge touchdown by Rodgers and company to give them the 2-score lead. There's Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor starts it off quickly, but in the first half, he had just 7 carries for 18 yards. Naheem Hines had 3 carries for -1 yards. The Packers' run defense has been pretty good, other than DeMichael Harris had 1 carry for 19 yards. But other than that, they've been pretty good against Jonathan Taylor and Hines.
In addition to Elephantly and For Milwaukee, we're brought to you by DJ's Goalpost, Don Matovich, amazing owner there, the sports bar restaurant. Yeah, he's looking pretty darn good, the former bat. We saw a lot of that in Madison and beyond for, 3 years? He was prolific. Pretty even in the total yards, JD.
They are. It seems like the play of that.
Look at the passing yards.
Yeah.
What were you going to say there, John?
There were some big plays in the first half. I thought Green's strip after the Packers fumbled that snap, that negated that turnover. The doink on the field goal on the special teams, that negated another turnover.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the ball hitting the goal line on that kickoff. Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Man, he's got some holes to run, and JT looks good. But I don't like seeing him do this against the Green Bay Packers, that's for sure.
Running behind 56.
Yeah. That's why it's, as we were saying, this game is far from over, and perhaps it'll come down to a final score in a shootout game. Boy, they are working him. This is as good as he looked all season, right, Michael? Unfortunately, it comes at Green Bay's expense.
Yeah, and out of nowhere, too. First half, we weren't seeing any of this.
No, you just got done with the statistics.
Yeah.
PippinDodds.com/ask your questions on our viewing gallery party here. Love to have you. Our producer is Jason Ruck. You can also contact us, WisconsinSportsStream.com, WSS, Facebook, and Twitter.
There you go.
Right there. Amos. He's had a couple of flashes, hasn't he, in this game? JD, I've got my Bart Starr jersey on, so I hope that'll bring us a little good luck here from a Packers perspective in the second half. And I'm sure at some point you can share a story about number 15, one of the great men in life. All right. Not just a 5-time NFL champion. I think anyone who met him, you could say it about Al McGuire, the former Marquette coach. John, you've had many great conversations with him. You just come away a better person. Wow, they're going to do it on the ground, so maybe that's part of the adjustment offensively. I'm curious, guys, to see what they'll do to try to derail Aaron Rodgers and company.
Well, for one, Jacoby Brissett was in there. It looks like he's staying in for another play. We'll have to. Yeah, he's in again. I don't know if they benched Rivers or they're just keeping him up.
The reason, as you were saying, he can do what Rivers can, especially at this stage of his career.
Yeah, I'm assuming Rivers back on.
Yeah.
I think they just like to throw that package in every once in a while.
Mix it up. Mm-hmm.
I got a question here. Jonathan from Green Bay. Pip, I'll send this one to you. He says lots of the media, ESPN especially, talks about the Packers ruining Aaron Rodgers in his prime. How do you feel Aaron feels? He has been upbeat this season, but wonder if there's any feelings or resentment, especially after the drafting of Jordan Love. Maybe the money makes it hurt less. I'm assuming he's referring to only getting to one Super Bowl in Rodgers' career.
Right. And the same thing was said about Brett Favre. And I certainly understand that argument. But I think in the end, you've got salary cap. You've got to do what you can to keep a team competitive. And it's not as if they don't have some targets there for him. And look, as John has said many times, if Jordan Love turns out to be a heck of a quarterback, you just had to make the gamble. You know, you could argue about getting another receiver, and he might take a couple of years to work out. But I understand that, and I've been part of that choir. But I also see the Packers' perspective. And they certainly have been competitive, that's for sure. But it's a quarterback league, and it's because of 12 and old number 4 before him, John.
When Wayne Larrabee came on our show, he had a 14% figure. When your quarterback earns more than 14% of your total salary cap, you can't win. Very difficult to win. Seattle was a dominant team. What was that, about 2013, 2014? And they won a Super Bowl, and then Russell Wilson got paid, and then they couldn't keep their offensive linemen, and they couldn't keep their
Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom, their big secondary people. That they had to let them go. So, Bill Belichick was a great coach, and Tom Brady, yeah, he's the greatest. But Tom Brady married a supermodel, and Tom Brady has been playing at much less than market value for all these years. So if Aaron Rodgers, instead of playing at 30 million, was playing right now at 11 million, he'd be winning more championships. He'd maybe have more endorsements, but that's a lot to give up. So that's the problem. And the Jordan Love.
Oh yeah, John, love it. And Kenny Clark.
There's Kenny.
Yeah, you're so right as always. It's a Ron Wolf. We talked about this great general manager, but never had to deal with a salary cap.
Well, the other thing is there's 32 teams now, and just think how easy it was. Bart Starr was a 17th round pick in 1956. Well, when there's 12 teams, 17th round, that's probably the middle of the 4th round today. Mm-hmm. So it's much more difficult, and the number of colleges playing football is less than it was back then.
Oh, no, make a play. Uh-oh, flag. I was concerned because he was face guarding them, but boy, they get away. If you hold them a field goal here, and it looks like they will, that's a win, huh? Andrew Grogan, I love it.
Yeah. And based on your point of Wayne Larrabee saying, then we have to watch out what happens with Mahomes, right?
Exactly.
Since he just got that, yeah.
But that kicks in, I think, next year, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wants a penalty. Rivers wants a penalty, guys. I don't know.
No.
Why didn't the flag go on that one, John?
Because he didn't arm guard him like MVS did.
True. All right.
Now that was big. I'll give up
half a quarter. That was very big.
I'll give up half a quarter for 3 points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Take the other half of the quarter and come down and dink and dunk, but they know MVS long. So they have it working. There's MVS long, there's Devontae Adams short, and the tight ends seem to be open a lot. So this is the most diversified offense. And then when you start spreading them out, then you run Aaron Jones.
Mm-hmm. Jones has looked real good today. They've run it better than I thought they would, Michael.
Yeah, they've ran the ball pretty well today. They've also moved the ball through the air as well. We saw over 150 yards through the air at half. So
they came out throwing too, didn't they?
They did the first possession until that turnover. They had 2 very successful plays right out of the gate.
Michael, a lot of people have been talking about Kamara as the leading candidate for MVP after Russell Wilson has tailed off somewhat. Certainly his pick numbers are up. He had a bad 2 or 3 game stretch in that department. But I think Aaron Rodgers has to be right there, doesn't he? What does he have now? 4 interceptions, 2 in the last 2 games, but I don't know if he's up to 20. He has 3 today. Where is he?
I think he's got 29 now. I think I'll take a look
29?
here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
Isn't
29.
his QB rating like way higher than it's been in the last few years, hasn't it?
It's MVP level. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Going
Yeah,
back to 2 times he won the award.
I think my MVP so far this year though is still it's going to be Patrick Mahomes because they're 8-1, number 1 team in the AFC. He's got 25 touchdowns and only 1 interception, which are similar to Rodgers' 26 coming into today. Mahomes will play tonight, so we'll see what they stand after they each get done today. But I think right now, just because the record of 8-1, best team in the AFC, only that 1 interception and similar touchdowns, I think right now I got to give it to Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
That drive was 14 plays, 56 yards, 7-17. So it's amazing. The opportunity is, can you use your efficiency, go down and score 3 or score 7 and take about 5 minutes off the clock and basically try to end this thing. Because if you can stop them from running and then Rivers, I think you can mess with them a little bit with the pass rush.
Yeah, he's like a lot of those venerable QBs. You give him time, look out. But Brady's the same way. If you can get in Tom Brady's face, even the great ones are going to have trouble, including Rodgers. Uh-oh, Mr. Shepard. Yike.
Just let the ball go.
Yeah, I don't understand why, a lot of these, and they come back and it's, maybe 20-yard line.
The only person that really works for is Cordell Patterson from the Bears, especially because their offense is just non-existent. So if he's even like 9 yards deep in the end zone, if he took it out, I would have no problem with that because they're going to go 3 and out anyway, most likely.
He's big, strong, and athletic. Yeah, I don't think going back to Mitchell Trubisky that he's going to have surgery in the shoulder. So of course, at this point, even if Foles is healthy, you got to go back to your original starter, right? They have no offense. But that defense, be interesting to see how the Packers match up with the upcoming contest. There are 2 of them with Chicago, including next Sunday, right?
Next Sunday night, I believe. Yeah, Sunday Night Football.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll be a good one. I think that's at Lambeau, isn't it? The game, the final game of the season is at Soldier Field.
I would think so. I'm not positive on that. I can double check.
Yes,
but
January 3rd. January 3rd at Soldiers Field.
Yep.
Hopefully Jordan Love will be starting that one.
That would be good, wouldn't it? That would tell you something about where the Packers are seated. Come on, guys. Not much there.
No love for Boyle?
No, I like Boyle.
I think fans want to see Love.
Yeah.
Not that he's ready, especially in the COVID training camp. It really set him back.
Well, this is an interesting play right here.
Mm-hmm. Three for 4, huh? On 3rd down. Let's look for Devontae, bottom of your screen. Boy, it looked like Bakhtiari moved early.
Oh, what is that?
Ooh, what happened there?
Hoping it was a miscommunication between.
Oh, you would think they weren't on the same page. Jeepers. Well, he went after MVS.
Yeah, this catch was one of the better catches of the year. He had a really good. Thielen had a great catch last week too. Where
He
rotated
did.
the ball.
One-handed.
Yeah, that was back-to-back weeks of great catches.
Right. Well, this is unfortunate, JD.
All right, special teams.
They stopped. Did you notice anything there adjusting to the Packers offense and defense, or other than just good execution?
Oh, boy. That was lucky.
Where's that
Yeah.
ball at?
Good bounce.
40. I didn't like that camera angle.
What'd you think? Did you see any adjustments at all from the Colts, or are they just, hey, they were good, 3 and out?
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
All right. Well, now it's important to not allow any points. A field goal here would make it a 1-score game. So really got to get the urgency back.
Andrew Grogan, while we have time, tell us about another one of our supporters for Milwaukee, FORE. I know that's kind of a family affair for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is a great place to, work on your golf game and have a beer. So you have top of the line simulators there with about over 40 golf courses. You can play Pebble Beach, and it's very, very realistic, including your shots. I mean, for practice, I know that several PGA Tour players actually use the same type of simulator when they're practicing in the wintertime. So you can go out there and play the driving range or play a full round of golf. It takes about 2 hours, and and you can enjoy alcoholic beverages while we still can.
And Tim is your brother. Tell people about Tim. He's just he's carved out a great career for himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was a PGA professional. He played his college golf at UNLV. Who's always had a pretty good golf team. And from there, he turned pro. He was a pro at Ozaki Country Club. And then he became, I think, the youngest college golf coach in the country at the time when he started took a head golf coaching job at Marquette.
Mm-hmm.
So then he was there for just under 20 years. So 19 years, I believe.
Oh, that's amazing.
So a lot of good stories there, from taking the team to only 2 scholarships that he had there. So, which normally you have 4.5. So he did a lot with that. Got some really great players and put Marquette on the map for golf for sure.
He's like you too, an outstanding person. Good starting field position again. That punt was nothing to. Of course, again, he was deep in his own territory. Scott's punting has not been great this season, has it, fellas? Oh, he's got a lot of time. Oh, nice play. How about Savage? Looking like the Savage, JD, before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Going back to last year's rookie season. Anyway, I don't know. What do you think, Michael, the punting of J.K. Scott? And it's only going to get more challenging when the frozen tundra turns into just that.
There's been some games he's been pretty good, but as well, like that block punt, I'm not sure how much was his fault of not getting it out in time or, protection. But also this game, I don't know how much he practiced this week with his personal.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Michael, do you need this background too?
Yeah, Andrew, I see you're coming from St. Louis University there. You got College Church over your left shoulder.
Oh,
Got some great
Take a
campus.
look at the campus. I haven't been on campus there for a few years. I remember playing the golf course over there in a tournament.
Yeah, I love that campus.
Yeah.
your alma mater, the Billikens.
It is, yes. The Billikens supposed to have a good basketball team this year.
Okay.
Right outside the top 25 right now. I'm excited.
I almost went to SLU, Michael. I think I told you that.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Yep.
Didn't have many options, mind you, but all right, come on now. Get Jonathan Taylor. Hit him. Ah, man.
4th and 1.
Yeah, they'll be going for this.
Yeah, got to.
See if Brissett comes in again. Doesn't look like it.
14 rushes, 69 yards. He certainly improved his numbers.
Yeah.
They're
Yep,
gonna
there
be
goes Brissett.
betting too, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him an option, something else to worry about.
Well, now basically it's going to be a run one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely. I mean,
I think he's going to hand it off. Come
I think
on
it's a
here.
keeper. Yeah, it's a keeper.
Yeah. Oh, second effort and then some. Darn it. I thought they had him.
He's still up.
What in the world is going on? Everybody's going for the ball. Get him down.
Wow.
Oh, shoot. This is nervous time here, guys. Come on. I'm too old for this stuff. John, you're just calm, enjoying some food. You still got the professionalism that you showed in the booth or as statistician.
Well, I'm just relaxed here watching a Hallmark movie.
Are you really? Oh, there have been some good ones. Yeah, they start pretty early, don't they?
It'll surprise you, but it's a Christmas theme one.
Yeah. Yeah, surprising. And surprising that you know the ending in the first 2 minutes, but it's still awesome.
Whoa, here we go.
There-
Oh!
my goodness.
Come on.
Dang it.
What in the world?
Right there in center field. What's Rivers talking about?
Wow. John, do you still have your Favre? I don't see the Favre jersey today.
I don't
Took it
have,
down?
oh, John, yeah. John, where is the Favre jersey?
It's hanging up in my other office.
Ah.
I don't have the for our podcast. I had it,
Yep.
but I have my Bart Starr picture, which I'll bring closer to the camera in a second.
No
That's
penalty there.
that's the disadvantage. That's a disadvantage of him throwing sidearm.
Good call. Yeah.
Here's my.
Oh, wow.
Here's my Bart Starr when I introduced him at the Milwaukee Athletic Club in 2008.
That's the story I wanted about number 15.
Yeah. And I had the opportunity, because I was introducing him, they put me at his table. So I sat next to Cherry Star. And that was talk about, she reminded me exactly of Joni Crean. She had Bart's back. She knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that went on, and we're talking about draft choices, and she knew every one of them, what years they were.
Well, speaking of Bart Starr, my wife, I believe I might have shared this at some point somewhere, but we were at a table at the Lombardi Golf Classic, and she had the privilege of trying on, Andrew, Bart Starr's Super Bowl ring, one of them. And she said it very much surpassed our wedding day. Come on. No. Give me.
Oh, what a throw that was by
That
Phillip.
was. T.Y. Hilton. Oh, I'm not liking this third quarter at all. All the momentum to the home team, Michael.
Yeah.
No way to stop that one.
Yeah, that was just too good.
Right.
That's a rare stuff by the Packers on a run.
Yes,
play.
it is. Yep.
Looks like somebody got hurt.
I hope
Like
not.
Lancaster hurt himself.
Man, he just threw it up there across the field. They do have some pretty talented pass catchers, Michael, don't they?
They do, yeah. They got T.Y. Hilton, who's been one of the good wide receivers in the game for a while now. Michael Pittman Jr., the good rookie. They've got Cephas out of Wisconsin too. I haven't heard his name much
Oh,
today.
What is it?
Or he might be in
Pascal?
Detroit. He might be in Detroit.
Yeah, he's in Detroit.
Yeah, he's in Detroit. But yeah, Pascal as well. Yep.
No. So I don't know. Is 95 Lancaster on
Yeah,
his back?
Lancaster. It looks like he hurt his hand
Mm.
or wrist.
Boy, they go in here and score. Now you get really nervous Nelly time.
Now, if you want a Bart Starr story on this, so I introduced him, and I figured that out of the 400 people in the room, probably 50% or more would remember him as being a bad coach. So I was 48 at the time. So I gave him a detailed introduction about coming from Alabama in 1956, 17th round pick, and how he labored at different positions. They tried him at DB, they tried him at quarterback. They didn't know what they had, and Lombardi got there and wasn't really impressed. And he played for him because he had to. Lombardi was still trying to trade for quarterbacks in 1960. And then when they won the championship in 61 and 62, it was Bart Starr just handing off to the Hall of Fame backfield behind the Hall of Fame offensive line and the Hall of Fame defense. And then a funny thing happened after 62, that by 65, all the great players started to age. And Bart Starr then, instead of being a spoke in the wheel, became the hub in the wheel. And then he became an MVP in 66. And he was their best player in 65, 66, 67. And Marie Lombardi said he was the coach on the field and Vince was the coach off the field. So I said it's very much like Aaron Rodgers in that he wasn't thought of as much his first 3 years, but then later became the best player in the league and an MVP. Here he is, Bart Starr. So Bart Starr comes up and he goes, well, John, thank you very much for those kind words. I could have sat here all day and listened to them. In fact, I thought I was going to have to. And I thought, I've just been dissed in a nice way by the nicest man in football.
Yeah, but when you and I get rolling on stories, look out, right, Michael, Andrew? Jason knows that. Come on now. Uh-oh, that's a touchdown. Son of a gun. Right back in it, boys.
There's a
I
flag.
do want to hear more stories about Brett Favre being cheap.
This one might be coming back.
Yeah. Why, you've got one, Andrew?
No, I want to hear a story about that. No, I'm curious.
About Starr?
No. I was just thinking. When I was thinking of stories, I was thinking of Brett Favre. If you had Brett
Yeah.
Favre stories about being
You're
cheap,
too
like you said.
young to remember Starr as a player, right? But you certainly know his
Yeah.
legend, big Packers.
Oh, yeah.
One
it is
thing I think John would agree, Bart Starr was one tough cookie. I think Jerry Kramer, John, tells the story about how somebody, maybe in the Bears, Bill George or somebody, just absolutely cold-cocked him. May have been after the whistle, one of those hits that would have been ejection. And he's got blood coming out everywhere, and they figure that was it. He comes back in, and apparently his lip is,
What?
it's rather grotesque and hard to hear. And he just, one of the few, Kramer says, one of the few times ever that he used language that was foul. He was that tough a leader. He was absolutely. Rivers, it just delayed the inevitable.
I just have memories of him as a coach, old memories of that, and then I remember Forrest Gregg. I think of coaches, like old memories.
Yeah,
Let's see if they bring Brissett back in for the 2-point conversion.
right.
Reitman and Miller had this person that would come on their show in the 80s who would imitate Forrest Gregg. And they're going for 2, huh?
Yeah, make it a
I
3-point
was
game.
wondering if they would, right? Make it a 3-point game. Be nice to get some sort of a victory here.
Was there a radio station that had All My Packers? I think it was called.
Dang it.
Yeah, it was.
That wasn't Reitman, right? That wasn't Reitman and Miller, though.
I think that was probably the 103 people, but they used to have Packer rap songs.
Another flag. That's good. Got offside. Jeepers.
I used to caddy for Reitman.
You know, that's 2 straight penalties on him. Oh, come. A little holding there. Come on.
And I don't think you're talking about Bob Reitman holding, are you?
No.
You know, the one thing I would say briefly is we've got to get into this game now because we've got just what we hope we wouldn't have. We've got a
Yeah.
ball game, Michael, and then some, don't we? We welcome your questions, pippandodds.com/ask. The Pip and Dodds podcast, Michael Rachel, John Dodds, Andrew O'Grogan, our marketing genius. And speaking of that, Jason Ruck is our producer, WisconsinSportsStream.com, WSS, Facebook and Twitter. I'm concerned, boys. I'm officially concerned. But before we get back into what I did want to say about Bart Starr, as tough as he was, when it came to his wife, Cherry, in particular, he's just one of the kindest human beings, whether you're the president of the company or someone who's the custodial engineer, whatever the case may be, Andrew. But the love affair he had with his wife, Cherry, John mentioned her before, what a lady for over 6 decades. And when he was on his deathbed, and, they say the last sense that goes is hearing. Nobody, they say, in the family knew if he comprehended what was going on. But at that point, Cherry just thought she'd try. And so she reached over, kissed him on the cheek to cheek, and said, "Bart, I just want to thank you for giving me a beautiful life." And his last words, he looked at his bride and he said, "I love you."
Huh. Yeah, there was a Monday night game where they lost, I think it was 24-3 to the Giants. It might have been 82. It was 83, this was. And Tim Lewis had fumbled a couple of, 83 it was. So Tim Lewis fumbled a couple of kickoffs and really put him in bad situation. They lose the game. So they fly out of New York and they come back and they land in Austin Stroybel Airport probably 2 a.m. And Bart and Cherry are driving home and they see a motorist in distress on one of the long bridges. So they are trying to change a tire. So Bart drives all the way home, drops Cherry off, grabs a jack, drives all the way back the wrong way on the bridge, turns around the other way, pulls up to the guy and says, "Hi, can I help?" And the guy goes, "You're Bart Starr. I was watching your game tonight." So the guy said, "I couldn't believe it. He helped me jack my car up, changed the tire for me, and then he drove off." And I'm like, he said, "I couldn't believe that somebody would do that."
Mm-hmm.
And that's Bart Starr.
He's an incredible man. Incredible man. And Michael, back in the day, if he met you when he was in his prime, a year later, he would remember your first name. He was uncanny that way, wasn't he, JD?
Yeah. You know what they're doing is they're kicking short to make the Packers return.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been good strategy.
There's an interesting stat. A little play action.
Okay, offense, it's up to you. 3 plays the second half so far.
How about some more play action?
The time of possession too, rare for the Packers to be trailing in, and I think it's not like 25 minutes to 18 minutes in favor of Indianapolis. And
oh yeah, they dominated the third quarter in that department, right?
Right, but Green Bay, most of the year it feels like they've won the time of possession pretty handily. Yeah, pretty handily too.
Yeah, the third quarter was an anomaly,
and it's tough. It's tough to play with the lead though. It's tough to keep that foot on the pedal, and whereas if you're down, you got to push the envelope.
True, but I get nervous anytime the Packers are down because I don't think they're a great team playing for behind. Do you, John?
Well, look at that. Ball control.
Yeah. 11-14 to 202, 23 plays to 4.
Well, it comes down to the next team that punts loses.
That stop, how big was that stop after they kicked the field goal? 11-0 in the quarter. You're right, guys. It may come down to this drive. Oh, nice little move, huh?
That was a nice move. Caught it back upfield.
And here we go with 3rd and 1.
Again.
I think this will be a play action.
I couldn't agree more. Don't run it up the middle again. We saw what happened against Jacksonville. As John has said many times, this is more a finesse offensive line. All right, Rodgers, that's what they pay you the big bucks for, buddy. Make it happen. Jenkins at center. Amazing. Good snap.
Oh, there's a hold. No?
No flag?
On Aaron Jones there?
What in the world happened on that play?
Aaron Jones got.
He's got some heat on him, doesn't
They
he?
should probably block Darius Leonard.
Leonard.
Well,
Boy,
Now, if it's me, I might go for it here, but you can't because I don't know if they can stop these guys at this point.
false start.
Jeepers. Everything's coming. They're unraveling before our eyes, boys.
Rare to see discussion though for a false start.
What's going through LaFleur's mind here? Kirksey?
no, Ramsey.
Ramsey, okay. Thank you. Special teams, come on, guys. We talked about this. Well, you could use a punt here from J.K. Scott.
This thing better land inside their 30.
Not going to.
Wow. It's a dome, for goodness sakes.
Look at the field position they've had here in this third quarter.
And they can run the ball now. I mean, they got a whole quarter to play with. I mean,
Well,
With-
and right, and Rivers, as you pointed out, has made some marvelous throws here. But when you establish the running game as they did coming out of the locker room,
yeah, that third quarter was, I don't know what their rushing stats were just in that quarter, but now Jonathan Taylor's up to 60 yards on 13 carries. His average was 2.8 yards per carry. Now it's up to 4.6.
what is Aaron Jones, Michael? Please,
Aaron Jones has 8 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown, averaging 5 yards a carry. Jamal Williams just 12 yards on 5 carries, 2.4 yards per carry.
Speaking of yards, 111 to what, 15? Can they get a stop, JD?
Looks like Lancaster's back in.
Good.
And JD said going into halftime, 42 points is where you're going to need to be to win this game.
Oh, you
Tackle him!
gotta be kidding me. Well, you're not going to get very far in the playoffs if that's your defense.
Well, look, they're a defense that is just, and they played pretty well the first half, but John, missed tackles constantly. They're among the league leaders in that category. That was horrible. They had them dead to rights.
Yeah.
What was that the worst quarter of the year? I think it's got to be one of them. I can't think of a worse quarter. We've had a couple bad ones.
Yeah.
Had a couple bad ones, but this one, frustration wise, what we have 2 3 and outs on offense, and that was it. Might have had 1 first down.
Yeah, the offense has to step up.
That Tampa game, pretty bad quarters.
Yeah, the second half they didn't score a point. You're right.
Yeah. Andrew, you're right. That was just a tough game from, well, just about start to finish, right? They had a couple of great drives, and then Rodgers had the interceptions. Imagine what this game might have been if the Colts had taken advantage of the 2 miscues by the Pack in the first quarter, the turnovers, first half. The thing about this is if you can escape, don't you think? If you can escape with a victory here, this is a quality win. I think one of the tops for them of the season. And you get by Indianapolis, and then it gets easier. 2 Bears games notwithstanding in the rivalry there. But this game is trending in the wrong direction. Andrew, as a fan, what goes through your mind when these things happen? You seem rather even keel over there, but does the stomach churn? Do the knots make themselves?
I mean, I'm always, yeah, this is always, it's, I mean, why they just need to make it interesting. I mean, it's always frustrating to see you just want them to dominate as a fan all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes if you don't make mistakes and it becomes interesting, then you can't blame anyone. But this is really, it's not fun to watch, especially when where our record shows. It just looks like it just reminds me of last year when our record looked so great, and then we had that fatal game against the Niners again. So I just hope we are a little bit tougher this time around when it comes to like playing at a high level when we need to at the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, two quarterbacks going in different directions, both 3 TDs, 1 pick, but Rivers has really upped his game here. Oh my gosh, how did he get that open?
I think that's Pascal. Oh, Rivers is down.
One thing about Phillip, he's like an old yeller. He is one tough cookie. Oh, he did take a shot from Clark, didn't he?
Yeah.
I have I think a 7-second delay. So when bad things happen, it's double bad.
Oh, that
So then I
always irritates me. So apologies.
Isn't it? Well, I'm blaming the NFL pass for that. I don't know why it's like that today.
Need a play. Come on. Well, they're at least going to come away with 3, and they could take the lead with a touchdown.
Unless it's 50 yards, because Blankenship hit the upright, or he hit the crossbar from just 50 earlier in the game. So I don't know what his range is. If he just mishit it. We'll have to see.
2nd and 2, though. On the other point, John, you've talked about time of possession. They're starting to wear down Mike Pettin's unit, don't you sense?
Yeah, if the offense is one or 3 and done, you can't. I mean, the Packers can't win.
Well, I don't know what adjustment they made, but this Colts team has made an adjustment on defense. And they look like the defense that some feel is number 1 overall in the league. And statistically, we know they're right up there. The Packers' Achilles heel on D, the run D. Sure.
Oh, nice block by Rivers.
Yeah.
Oh, that ball popped out, didn't it?
I didn't see it. I didn't think so, but maybe.
Pretty good play there to contain it. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, they're now up 24-21.
Don't sense they can get a stop here, but they do need a turnover. So again, if he gets enough time, he's accurate as can be. Doesn't have the greatest arm, does he, John? As you say, he kind of comes 3/4 sidearm sometimes, but he'll sling it in there. Not the prettiest pass, but very effective.
Yeah, that was impressive. Sullivan had good coverage.
Yeah, he did. I thought somebody was down there. Is that Amos?
That's Sullivan. I think it's cramping,
Oh,
but
what do you do if you're Mike Pettin now? Besides tossing the
you start preparing for the draft. And there's one player. There's only one projected defensive tackle in the first round, and that's a Marvin Wilson from Florida State, and he just had knee surgery, so he had, I think, an MCL tear, so he's getting that repaired. And he had a very poor year, but he was playing on a bad knee. He's a top 10 player who could fall. I mean, there's so many good players. I don't know if you take a flyer on a defensive lineman like that. given that there's just top wide receivers and offensive tackles and quarterbacks in this draft. So if 6 quarterbacks get taken before the Packers pick, if the Packers pick, say, 25, that means they'll have basically the 19th pick in terms of position talent. And it's not good for defensive linemen. So, and you don't have any cap room because you're using your cap to keep your own. You want to keep Aaron Jones and you want to keep maybe Lindsley, maybe King. If maybe you can convince King to sign for a 1-year deal because he's having such a poor contract year. Maybe he wants another prove it year and you give him something. I don't know.
Michael Rachel, our guest, who we're very thankful to Andrew Grogan there, you see on the screen from Elephant Lee, our marketing team. So thankful for them. Andy Cephas was our guest. And Andy had a couple of questions I thought were interesting, and we welcome yours, everybody, in the viewing party we're having here, courtesy of Jason Ruck, our producer, John Dodge, Michael Rachel, Tom Pippins, Andrew Grogan. So Andy's question was, do you feel that Rodgers will finish his career in Green Bay? That's the question everybody's at. Let's start with you, Michael.
And it's just so tough because eventually Rodgers will come to the point where his game has declined significantly. Some people thought it might be this year, but obviously that wasn't the case as he's in the MVP conversation. But there will come a time years from now where Rodgers will think he'll be able to continue to play and the numbers will probably show otherwise. So there's going to be it's so hard to predict that, in my opinion. So I'll just say yes, he will continue, or he'll retire as a Packer. But if he doesn't, I could see him wanting to keep playing and the Packers having to move on like they did with Favre back in the day.
You know, he's very close to his 37th birthday. JD, that was a heck of a play on Taylor there. Give him credit. You're 4th down now. Are they kicking a field goal for the tie? I suspect.
I suspect they would because it looks like it's 4th.
Yeah.
All right, let me get to my jinxing again. I think
put a whammy on him.
Yeah, I think this guy's almost been perfect the entire year. Can't imagine him missing this one. Just a 32-yard chip shot.
Maybe he pulled a rib muscle when he turned there left and right. Okay.
Bummer.
We got a tie game, boys, with 11 plus to go. What about you? You think A-Rod is going to finish as a Packer? I could see the scenario where he would not. I think maybe a couple of years of high-level play. I think he might be like Brady, though, and go into his 40s. So then do you stay with him, and does he have the chance? If I had to answer it right now, I would say, and I think maybe he feels in his mind that there'll come a point here where it'll be time to move on, out with the old, in with the new quarterback-wise and Jordan Love.
I think he does stay with the Packers because if they cut him in 2021 or trade him, they get, I believe it's a $28 million cap hit for dead money. If they wait another year, 2022, I think it's $15 million cap hit. But if they redo his deal, they could push that back a little bit. And as long as he's playing so well, I'd have no trouble keeping Jordan here. They got him for 5 years.
Darius Shepard.
Oh, ball's out.
Hold on to the. Oh, dang it. Oh, this is the worst.
And this is just going to be whoever comes out of the scum.
Yeah, it looks the
or scrum, not scum. Scrum.
Yeah. Well, it is scum. What would you
Yeah.
all due respect. Oh my gosh. I tell you, John, isn't there another option there without Irvin out being is just a killer? Because 32 is pretty darn good in that department. Yeah. Ripped it right out. I mean, you could see it going, and it doesn't look. Does he ever have a chance? He doesn't know where it is.
That's good. That's good special teams scouting because you're kicking it short, so this guy returns it. Why?
You said that, John. You're
He's
right.
not good.
Andrew O'Grogan, I'm not liking any of this. Rivers couldn't find his helmet.
No.
Just so frustrating to see the way this game is. This is a disastrous second half. And once more, special teams, right?
We had that
Yep.
question earlier, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about it on Thursday as well. Indianapolis, they got the, according to Matt LaFleur, best special teams unit in the league.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but when you got Ty Summers in there, it doesn't exactly throw a scare into you from an offensive standpoint. They just don't have the playmakers, and they've been on the field the whole time.
That's a Ty Montgomery against the Rams play from 2 years ago.
Yes. Oh, that was, and it was the end of his career in Green Bay.
All right, big play here.
Huge. Field position too, Michael. I think you brought that up. That's been big. But when you don't have a championship caliber defense and you don't have a very good special teams, John, you said it, it puts all the pressure on the offense, and they just haven't been up to the task in the second half.
Well, there's a reason why they kept Tyler Irvin. He took him to a new level last year.
Mm-hmm. You liked him from the get-go, and as usual, you were spot on.
I have a weird feeling this is 4-down territory for the Colts. Never
Oh.
mind.
Never mind. Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, flag.
Uh-oh.
There's hope.
Yeah. The way things have been going for the Packers, you think it might be on their
He's
defense.
coming back.
Good.
All right.
Boy.
Oh, on Pascal, they got the wide receiver, I think. I thought I read his lips as 14. I could have been wrong. I don't have the audio on. Yeah.
Yep, you're right, Michael.
Well, that's a tough one.
Gary Alexander he brought down?
No, he got taken down.
No, I'm saying, did he
Yeah.
bring down? Was that, or was it Savage? I don't know.
I think
Either way,
it was Alexander, but Alexander kind of took him down rather than
With Savage.
Savage. Yeah. Well, that was big.
Yeah. But
Not
you
only
gotta
just to
stop
take
him
the
here
points
now.
away. Now it's 3rd and 12.
Hold.
What a sack right here.
Yeah, a sack. You're already looking at a 47-yarder. Missed a 50-yarder earlier.
Good numbers and that quick brain of his, Andrew Grogan. Uh-oh, boy,
Mhm.
he came.
Oh, he's off sides.
That's what I thought, but I didn't. Oh, yeah, he did throw the flag.
Show some discipline.
Was it Preston Smith?
That's unbelievable.
Automatic?
That's not automatic. No, it'll be 3rd and 7.
It was Preston Smith. I thought he got, watch the left, right there.
Yeah, you got it.
It's close, but, you know. I mean, in everything that could go wrong seemingly has gone wrong, from penalties to that turnover to special teams. Punting hasn't been good. Offense can't move it. Defense can't get off the field. They've been on the field the whole time.
Oh, good drop. Huge drop. So now they got to
Yeah.
kick the field goal.
Yeah,
Good stand by the defense, though, other than that jumping
That's
off
true.
sides.
true. Let's, again, cap
It-
off.
I don't remember exactly where Indianapolis started, but it was
Oh.
inside the 40. So
Think it was close to a penalty, John?
No, it's close to a fumble.
Oh, because that was great coverage. How long now?
just a 30 or 43. Yeah.
The penalty was big. Got it.
Pure.
31-28. We're getting close to our predicted score here, aren't we, John Dodds?
I had the Packers winning 30-26, I believe.
I think I went 31-26. So that
I
that's
was
not-
nowhere near this score. I think I had Colts 2017.
Green Bay,
And Rogan, how did you see this game?
Green Bay has 6 plays in the second half.
42 points for the Packers. 31 for the Colts.
So you'd think Blankenship would try to pooch one to get it between the 10 and the goal line here, right off the kickoff.
Anybody other than Darius Shepard? I guess not, huh?
No, you're in trouble. The only guy, and I haven't seen him play today, is Jackson from Iowa, the DB. I think
Josh, yeah.
he returns kicks, unless you say MVS or.
I don't want him catching a ball. I don't want him catching a kickoff.
Him, but St. Brown's got a knee issue.
Would I guess you wouldn't put a guy like Jari Alexander, but I would think he has the ball skills. I know he's a cornerback, but
Yeah,
Frank Reich is a pretty darn good football coach, isn't he? The Colts head.
he is. Yeah.
He is, and that organization, it's been pretty impressive that they've been able to be this successful with Andrew Luck just retiring basically in the spur of the moment without any warning. You know, prime of their career, the Colts thought they were going to be Super Bowl contenders for the next years to come. All of a sudden, he retires, and they've done a great job of being this competitive so quickly after the Andrew Luck retirement.
Very, very true.
But they were fortunate in that when he retired, they had a top 5 pick. So they took Nelson at 5, the Notre Dame guard, who's the best lineman in pro football. And then they took Shepard, or they took Darius Leonard. I'm sorry, Darius Leonard, the middle linebacker in the second round. So you get 2 picks in the top 40 like that. That really helps you. Now it's up to the Packers, for goodness sakes. 6 plays, no first downs.
Yeah, 2 3-and-outs. So, and
look at that time of possession.
Yeah.
In the second half, 17.5-3.
Yeah. The special teams. It looks he is right on every time. He's got to bring it out.
Just go out of bounds.
Now the kid is a gamer, right? John, a couple of years ago, he had major problems, and they thought he was going to make a contribution, and he had a couple of gaffes in a game. Didn't see him. He came back, had a good camp this year, didn't he? Darius Shepard?
Yeah, he did.
Titans beat the Ravens in OT. That's going to be a tough game for the Pack.
Yeah, they're going to be tough just because their running game. Derrick Henry, I don't know how the Packers are going to stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he is a load. All right, guys. Come on, Aaron Rodgers. Let's go. You get him moving now.
All right.
MVS, good cut inside.
Good, yeah, nice patience there.
Very good. He seems to be emerging before our very eyes, John Dodds, number 83.
Yeah, he caught it.
I think that was his first catch of the day. Or he had the
interference, which was
the interference, yeah. But I think, let me double check that.
Second
that was
half,
his first catch.
15 yards. My goodness.
I think he's had the ex-Viking Xavier Rhodes on him all day, MVS, that is.
Mm-hmm. Boy, Sternberger in the backfield.
Yeah. Oh, that could be a face mask.
Boy, it sure looked like it.
We're getting another third and less than a yard. Oh, they gave it to him.
Yeah, that was, I don't.
Oh,
Oh, my gosh. Come on.
how do you miss that one?
You can't replay that, right, JD?
Oh, my goodness.
What was he looking at? He bent him back.
Tough to win on the road.
All right, come on, guys. Make this a drive here. Put the pressure on the home team.
As if Rodgers was going to keep
Right,
that ball.
Are you kidding me?
Fooled nobody.
You're not Jacoby Brissett. Michael Rachel, looking for your questions, everybody, at our little party here that we're having, a viewing party on the Pippin Dodds podcast, pippindodds.com/ask, wisconsinsportstream.com, Facebook and Twitter. John Dodds is our Packers historian and the MVP. But you got to share that with our producer, Jason Ruck, back in his studio there.
Got a question here. I'll get to it right after this play. That looked like a false start, but no. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, man, he takes some hits, but he is a tough kid. That's what I'm saying. He's, say what you will, right, John? He's not indestructible. He's not the thickest guy out there, but he is a tough cookie and a competitor.
Yeah, I just don't think you can give him top 5 money. He's just too small, and you can't use him more than 20 times a game.
Yeah.
Got
Can
a
you get
quick
that question in?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a quick question. It's a little off topic. I didn't see it originally, and we're getting to the steamy part of the game. So I'll just go ahead and ask it. Sean and Katie from Cedarburg. They say slightly off topic, but what are your thoughts on the Saints' choice at quarterback Taysom Hill? We ask because he was once a Packer.
Boy, good work by Rodgers. You couldn't find anybody. There's Lazard. You going to give it to him?
I think they did.
Yeah. John, I don't know. I was surprised they didn't go with Jameis Winston because you don't really consider Taysom Hill a quarterback. Packers fans remember every time I think, how do you let – but he's a marvelous athlete. He can catch, he can run, and he can throw, and it worked out pretty well. He had good numbers, and the Saints are now 8-2, putting the pressure on the Packers to keep pace in the NFC, though right now Green Bay has the tiebreaker. What do you think of that move today at
Yeah,
QB?
it's they gave him big money for that reason to play him.
Go Jamal. Ooh, nice
Yeah.
He's 30 years old.
Oh, flag.
Flag. I'm sorry, John. Darn. I was saying, boy, nice hole. Maybe there's a reason. Who's it on?
Mercedes, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it because he's disconsolate. He can't forget that. I can't believe it. Let's watch. What do you think, John?
Well, if he let go right there. See, I think there was not a hold, but you've got him beat. You got to open. Larry McCarron, I've learned that from listening to The Rock for the last 5 years. You can't keep engaged when the play's going by you. You got to let it go or the ref is going to call hold.
And Lewis has been around forever. So you'd think the former Jacksonville Jaguar would know that. All right. You get some of that back right there. Nice pattern. Boy, he runs great routes, doesn't he, John? I mean, he reminds you more and more of Jordy Nelson. You've made that comparison, but as you pointed out, Devontae just has more gifts physically.
He's better off the line than Nelson. Nelson was unbelievable. Nelson, I don't think was a great first or second option, but he was maybe the best third, fourth, fifth option in the Rodgers era.
Big part of their Super Bowl win. It's quick passes, huh?
Well, there's a long field goal coming if it's
But also, if they go down and score a touchdown, there's going to be like less than 2 minutes left, you'd think, unless there's a big play coming here.
Right.
This has been a long drive compared to the, 6 plays, 3-minute half we've seen from the Packers.
7 plays, 36 yards on this drive, 4:55.
So they've doubled the amount of plays, basically, and time possession in the half in one drive.
2 down territory. If they don't get it, I hope it's a moot point. Or do you go for the tie on a long one with Crosby?
It depends how Crosby's leg is, but if he's as healthy, I would let him kick it.
All right.
Boy, what?
He's going to be short, though.
He's not throwing those things.
Now you go for it, though, in my opinion.
I agree.
There's an argument to kick it, especially with how bad the Packers have been on 3rd, 4th, and 1s. Oh,
Well-
he might. Oh no.
I don't know if you put that on 85, do you? I mean, the throw, he had to go down and get it, John? Or do you think he's
Yeah,
got to run his route deeper to get to the first down mark?
It's on Rogers, yeah.
Yeah, he's going. What do you call here? This is ball game with 3:11 to go. Come on, guys. The sneak. Yeah, I love it. Jason Ruck, on a sneak. Uh-oh. Oh, no, no, no. Oh,
Wow.
gee.
I thought there was a holding over the middle of the field. I couldn't catch who it was because I was trying to watch a bunch of different things, but
That's the case. These officials have had a bad day. Yeah, Jason Ruck, I agree. I didn't like that. play.
still 3 timeouts left, right? Still 3 timeouts. The Colts are acting like they won the Super Bowl. They haven't yet. Still got 3 timeouts. Game's not over.
But the story of this one, Packers' inability to do anything, shut out in the second half after putting 28. I don't know if he tried to just kind of steer it in there. Aaron has been off. I know there's been pressure, John. What do you think of Rodgers' play? In this-
It's been poor. He's not stepping into plays. He's throwing kind of backwards, just kind of lobbing them.
You have got to stop him here, right? Got to find a way to keep him from getting a first down. Hey, to the air.
Big play there. Massive
was
play.
it ever?
Flip the
And you know
field.
what? Frank Reich, whoever called it on the sideline, put the ball in Rivers' hands, and the old veteran comes through.
Well, and you know, the Packers offense has been really bad this second half, as we know. But if you're Frank Reich, do you really want to give the ball back to Rodgers? Or you just want to go down, try to score a touchdown like you have been all second half and just put this game to bed?
Yeah.
You know?
It would have been a 51-yard field goal, I think.
Yeah.
Which is very makeable, especially at Lucas Oil. But as my old colleague and friend Ted Perry said at the halftime. on
Oh my
Fox,
goodness.
Come on.
Sorry, he jumped
Whoa.
off again.
You got to be kidding me.
Ted Perry said there have been leaks at Lucas Oil Stadium. First half, it was all packed, but this time around, leaky defense, penalties.
All right, this is my last attempt at jinxing again. The Colts have won the last 4 meetings between the Colts and the Packers at Lucas Oil Stadium. So
So you're looking for streak
If it's,
snap.
if it's 1st and 5, there is absolutely no way that the Packers could stop them on 5 runs.
Look at Zadarius Smith being blocked by Rivers.
yeah, that was earlier in the game.
See,
Right.
that just another team would take his head off. You have to do that.
Now, wait a minute. Now what?
I think they got delay a game here.
12
not.
men on defense. Really? This is disgusting, fellas.
I was trying to think if they did that on purpose, but I don't think, because I know a team did that this year. I think Tennessee took too many men on the field on purpose to get a new fresh set of downs so that they could start calling timeouts.
That's an advantage. I mean, I can see now they got the 2-minute warning.
Yeah,
That might have been a great move.
they might have done that on purpose. It'd be interesting to see after the game. Because
Hmm.
1st and 5, you're going to most likely get the first down anyway, so you might as well get them a new one.
Mhm.
10 yards to go where you can use your timeouts, although 7 yards of carry isn't going to make a difference.
Boy, Jonathan Taylor is certainly at another flag.
If this is holding, that'd be big. We'll see.
Michael, can you see there what the Packers timeout situation is?
They got all 3 left. So,
And the 2-minute warning.
and the 2-minute warning and a 10-yard penalty there. So now it'll be
There's been
1st and 20.
There's been no reason to use it, right? Jeepers, offensively. Yeah. Look at Zadarius is pretty close to face masking. They got Pittman.
Well, they got Pittman on hold. I wonder where he was located on the field at the time. It's interesting.
Come on now.
1st and 20. You would think they're going to run this to get to the 2 minutes.
You called it, buddy.
Okay, timeout, Green.
No. Yeah.
Wow.
Holy.
Oh, it's on the defense. I saw him point to the, unless he pointed the wrong way. Okay.
Thanks, Jason.
Whew.
Rupp.
Phew.
Assuring voice back there from our producer in the studio.
I need the audio sometimes.
Oh yeah, all over Kenny Clark. As you
Now
say, he's a force. 97 is a force, Kenny Clark. 1st and 30. If they convert this somehow.
Now you call a timeout after this run.
Before 2 minutes, hopefully, or
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay, thank you. Jason Ruck points out they decline it. 2nd and 22.
You
Now
call,
the clock should run on the whistle, should it not?
you stop. No, because the penalty, so they gave him a time, the penalty gave the Packers a timeout there. That's interesting.
Even on a decline? I thought if you decline it,
Yeah.
so that's a free timeout and a loss of 2 yards.
There's some crazy strategy going on right now.
And another flag.
Oh, my
This is so strange.
Well, if
You're
this
right.
is another holding, you get another timeout. It'll be 3rd and 20. You still have all 3 timeouts left. And the 2-minute warning.
It better not be a defensive penalty because then it's a first down.
Yeah, defensive holding is 5 yards, but automatic. Wow. This is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it may take crazy for the Packers to get out of there with a
This
W.
is crazy. Is that 4 straight plays with a penalty?
Yeah.
He didn't come set. Pascal didn't come set.
Wow. What a
It's like Pee Wee football. What is this?
So now you decline that. You get a stop clock. You got all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
Packers need any break they can possibly get, and then you got to see if they can do anything with the ball.
Now, I think if you're the Colts, you got to throw it here. I really do. I think you got to try to get in field goal range.
they just
Yeah, you'll be at 2. Yeah, exactly, Jason. You'll be at 2 minutes either way. But also, even if it wasn't the 2-minute warning, I feel like you'd have to throw the ball. So now we're looking at 53 yarder coming out of the 2-minute warning. But if you do you kick this if you're the Colts? He missed a 50-yarder. If he misses that field goal, Green Bay will get the ball at midfield.
That was too good a call, and it looks like Reich is going for it.
Oh, they go for it. I like that. Yeah.
Play was huge.
Yeah, go for it. Definitely. Yep.
This has got to be the worst officiating crew. Penalties, Indianapolis, 6 penalties for 96 yards. And there's probably 2 that were declined. Green Bay, 7 penalties for 45 yards.
In broadcast, they start rolling the credits at this hour, so I'm going to start in with our the great support people we have for the Pippin Dodds Packers podcast. Eloquently Collective, based in Paris, France, Milwaukee. Creative and multi-talented team comprised of web designers, full-stack developers, graphic designers, and content curators. Specialties include website development, SEO, branding, and UX UI design. Started in San Francisco, as the great Andrew O'Grogan says, and you see him on the screen there, the epicenter of digital and tech work and in that world. For FORE Milwaukee Golf Simulator Bar, located on Water Street in downtown Milwaukee. Unique golf experiences for players of all levels, PGA instruction, practice, and indoor play. State-of-the-art golf simulators. You can play over 40 courses around the country and beyond. Grab yourselves a beer, a slice of pizza while playing ping pong, darts, and more. And certainly to our wonderful sponsor, DJ's Goalpost, Menominee Falls. We appreciate Don Matovich and all that he has done for us. And good to have him with us. Professional Construction, Inc. has been a fantastic supporter as well. Mike and Michelle Grau doing marvelous work construction-wise, residential and commercial. Well, I don't know. That play might have been the key, right? It might have been the backbreaker, right, Michael? You got 3rd and a mile.
Not back. You can still get out of it if you get a stop here on 4th down. You can
That's
get
the
away
thing.
with it.
I just don't like their chances of stopping them. What do you run here if you're Frank Reich? You
Anything,
pass it, John?
anything. It's all worked. I would run.
Well, they've been very successful. Go for it, 84. Kick field goal, 78.
They have to bring it back up into the backfield. No way. You're not even gonna disguise it.
Boy, if ever you wanted a sack, ever. Yeah, right, Jason Ruck again. Just be patient. Maybe that's what they're looking to do. Oh, no.
Just go
No,
down.
that's the game.
Still, there will be time left, but
It'll be
you'll have no timeouts left and most likely down 6.
6, if not worse. Boy, this has been as frustrating, John, as I think it could be all season long, because you're up 2 touchdowns. You've got everything going for you. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and they've done absolutely nothing on it. You can't put all this on the D. You give a lot of, look at that expression. That tells it all. You give a lot of credit to the Colts unit on defense. I've got a very frustrated Mrs. Pippins in the other room with this game. She is a huge Packers fan, Andrew, and if you think I get frustrated.
And
Wow, it's ridiculous. Oh, there's a holding penalty again.
No way.
I don't
I
see it.
thought I just saw it for a flag. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. You're right.
This is
Well, maybe-
ridiculous.
That's part of the reason I guess they're running it so well.
So that's a timeout again. It saves the timeout.
They can't put them away.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jason Ruck is right, as usual. Gonna accept that. That'll set up 1st and 20, right?
Yeah.
There's the hold. Is it 56, Nelson? Good as he is. Was it on Nelson? I don't know.
Oh my goodness. No way they're throwing this ball. What are they doing?
That was a hold. Did you see what Zadarius Smith get held?
Yeah, it looked like it. That's a heck of a play by number 23.
I could have been picked off almost. I can't believe the Colts threw the ball there.
Watch
Mhm.
Smith. Oh,
Boy, that's a great play, huh? That's why he's ranked the number 1 corner in the league. R.E. Alexander. But you need a few more playmakers on that defensive side. Keepers, it isn't. Maybe it's not over, Michael.
It's not over with the way the flags have been thrown recently, and you still have 2 timeouts left. You never know, right? Phillip Rivers still throwing the ball. You got to try a strip here.
Just
Oh my goodness. What is going on? You can't make this up.
is this a record or what?
Is this,
He
I
wants.
can't believe it.
he's
that's
taking-
the 8th penalty for 116.
I can't believe this.
and there've been like 6 in a
And
row.
this, yeah,
See?
and this now they saved one because now they declined the holding.
2 holding penalties.
Oh, okay.
Right, Jason Rupp. Thank you. Yeah. No wonder those holes are so big. John Dodge could run through there.
8 for 116.
I can't believe this. And it should be more than that, John, because they declined at least one of them, one of the holdings.
Yeah, they declined 2 of them, and then
Right.
they got a 15-yarder face mask that they didn't call.
Yeah. So it's really 11 for more than that.
Hold them to a 1-score game. It's a lot more than but just stop him, would you? Make a tackle. All right.
I just can't believe this because now they're out of field goal range.
I hadn't thought about that. What would it be?
It'd be over 55 right now where it stands.
As you know, in these domes, guys are kicking 60-yarders plus.
Yeah, but he did miss a 50-yarder short. I don't know if he just kicked it or.
Either way, I would take a field goal here, give Rodgers a chance, but they've just got to find a way to get that offense going.
So 3rd and 26. The last time it was 3rd and way long. They threw a little screen pass that was good for. Got him to 4th and 4. I don't remember how big of a play it was. It was at least 10 yards.
16 yards or so, and they had 20, 30,
right.
20, something like that.
I think they do. I think they do it again. I'm trying to get into field goal because right now you've got a 56 yarder.
Be shocked if he throws it down the field, but they've had success. Look, he's oh, right. Play.
Oh, man.
Well, you think? Might be a fumble. Go! Are you kidding me?
I thought it was forward, but it might have got tipped out of his hand before.
Look at Rodgers. What do you think, guys?
I don't think. I thought it was an incomplete pass, but
I got to see it because his arm was going forward, but the ball definitely got hit.
yes, it's a fumble.
No, you're kidding.
I don't know.
Amazing.
It's close. I don't know if that's a fumble. It's close.
Oh,
Touchdown.
is that with your head or your heart? You got some good reading there, Andrew Grogan.
Well, the book is good luck. I just opened it up during that last play.
No, that's a fumble.
It's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah,
I
Jason,
love it.
what's Jason saying over there?
This is great.
Drew that. It is good.
Now,
news.
Jason, you probably have the audio. Did they blow it dead? Yeah. So the ruling's a touchdown right now. The ruling on the field.
Yes.
I don't know if there's enough to overturn it.
Gotta love Philip Rivers. You gotta love him.
He's getting hit. That
I
arm
love
isn't going
Darius
forward.
Smith on that one. Give 55 credit. I'm sorry, JD.
He's getting hit before the hand's coming forward. Then the hand comes forward. So that's a fumble.
I think it's close. I don't know.
Jason saying that the official on the telecast thinks it's incomplete.
Well, if it is incomplete, you got one timeout, down 3. You'll get the ball back because they got a punt. It'll be 4th and forever. Or they're at the 39, I think, actually. So it'd be a 56-yarder.
They overturned it, huh?
Whoa.
Reversed. Dang it. Okay. Well, again, could be a lot worse. Heck of a play. Good stand again. Give this defense some credit. They haven't quit.
Whoa.
I think it's because he hit his arm where like he didn't get the ball out. So if he hit it, he hit his arm as it kind of came forward.
Yeah. I don't know if he touched the ball.
I don't think he did. I think it was the arm.
If he touches the ball, then it would be a fumble, even if his arm's coming forward, or does it not matter?
It technically doesn't matter, but I think if the ball was hit, it would be easier to say that the ball came out before the arm was going forward.
Sorry, fellas, I'm getting real nervous here with 82 back there, but you know what?
No,
Might take it to the house.
The absolute crazy part about this is they have a timeout. Good punt.
Yeah. At least it took a bounce. Yeah.
All right. Well,
away.
we know Rodgers has gotten a fair amount of pass interference called on deep throws. He's got one today as well to MVS. So you never know when you throw it up, and the refs are wanting to throw penalties, it looks like today. So
Yeah.
I'm stunned that they have the ball back with over a minute left and a timeout.
I am too. Well, just again, all those penalties. And that helped the defense, but they did make plays, including Darius Smith. Oh, man. Most of those numbers for Aaron Rodgers came before the break at half. But this is a lot better than you would have hoped for. Can they find a way to get something going?
Looks like Adams has single coverage down below.
Mm-hmm. MVS up top. Oh,
It's a good drop almost.
I wonder, Michael, to your point, if you can get one downfield, see if you can catch a flag. Those DBs have been
Yep.
very aggressive.
Now, the one positive of that play is the Packer brain trust saw how their defense reacted in their prevent. So now they know how they're going to react. So let's see if they can counter it.
Yeah, great analysis there, buddy. Come on, guys, make a play. Off his back foot. Oh,
Back foot, I don't know, it's really unusual.
it's just so frustrating to, I know this is a good defense, but LaFleur has a better offense than they're showing here. This has just been horrible. This has been one of the most pathetic halves I've seen an Aaron Rodgers led offense play, John. Tampa Bay certainly ranks up there this year. But
You got to be careful too, because holding in the end zone's a safety.
mm-hmm.
Although I'll wait for this play to be over. He's got him.
Get up.
He got him.
Yes, MVS, MVP. What's he upset about?
He called
Time
it out, I think.
Did you see that much, Jason? Okay. Jason Ruck said
Wow.
106 when he called it.
How did the Colts
Down to
allow
50.
that?
Boy, that is amazing. How did that play happen, man?
That was not MVS, that was Corey Bradford.
Yeah. Remember him? You remember him. Oh, boy.
It's just the Colts. How do you allow that?
Right.
Wow.
Give me a high five there, Sally Pip. All right.
Overtime.
Oh, no. We
I don't
can't
want
have
overtime. I don't want overtime.
Well, at least you don't have to rake any leaves, John, and it's
Well, maybe by the time this is over, I might have to shovel.
Oh, he's John Dodds, Michael Rachel, Andrew Grogan from our marketing team, Jason Ruck, our producer. I'm Tom Pippins on the Pippin Dodds Packers podcast. We're certainly having fun, and has it ever been entertaining?
So JD, real quick, they've got the field goal range at the 40-yard line, but Mason Crosby hasn't been healthy recently. Is he 100% now, do you think?
Yeah, they look at that in pregame. So he must have kicked a 57-yard field goal in pregame.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Go, Devontae. Yes. Yes.
Don't have to clock it yet. You're still good.
Oh, you got time.
Yeah. Don't clock it. Oh. Okay, well, just remember it's second down, not first down.
That's true. That's true. Now, if you're going to score, you got to make a play anyway. Isn't that a situation, John, where maybe you've got a play in the bag, though, to come up to the line of scrimmage, to your point, and try something else before you clock it?
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but I'm nervous if you score too soon. I mean, you just.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, touchdown, I'm fine with. It'd be unfortunate if they get to like fourth down here.
Again, Adams. Boy, he threw a bullet in there. Get off his feet.
If I'm Indianapolis, I'm almost thinking about taking a timeout just to regroup the defense. They're getting shredded. Like now, since they clocked it, you might as well use one.
Boy, this is an incredible finish here. Either way, but you got an offense that found a life with horrible field position after they couldn't do anything for the entire second half.
Boy, nobody else was open on that except for Devontae, so you hit the right guy.
And he had Leonard on him too, didn't he?
Yeah,
As good as he is, you'd rather have an LB than a DB. Come on, Aaron. Let's go. One more here, buddy. Let's make it a play of the week in the NFL. Nice. Good patience. Tunyon, go, go, go.
Now be careful. Third down. Gotta know situation.
That's true, pal.
Gotta know your situation. Which Rodgers.
Yeah.
This is going to be end zone, you'd think.
Or
Walk
side-
off fashion. Walk off fashion.
side-
It's like the shot clock is dark in
You're right.
basketball. That's what it feels like.
Oh, it is. Oh. Oh boy, I don't. Did they let too much time roll down on that one? Because now
Probably.
you're in one play. Well,
Oh, yeah,
that's
I thought they did it pretty well, actually.
Jason's
thought they-
right. Jason's right. They can tie it with a field goal. I lost track of that. I so much wanted to, like you say, the walk off, Michael.
Yeah, it was like the shot clock was dark in basketball there. It's like waiting for the last shot.
Right.
All right, no funny business here.
12 for 12.
Come on, Mason. Get a ball. How long is it? One third.
Lucky
Yeah.
number 13. That man has ice water in his veins, doesn't he? He's been super.
I think the most pressure-packed kicks I've ever seen in all my years of watching football.
Dallas, right?
You know,
Dallas?
two Dallas 50-yarder.
Dallas, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Boys, we're going overtime.
The win probability for the Packers going into that 3rd and 3 was 66%.
Really?
Because if they had scored a touchdown, their game would have been over. Oh, Tunyon wide open.
Oh, no. Is that one of those situations where even 12, great as he is too dependent upon? I'm thinking back to Favre, Andrew Grogan, and Sterling Sharp. It was Sharp and nobody else.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I had no, of course, it's easy to see hindsight, but
Yeah.
and there was some pressure when he finally threw it away.
Phillip to the locker room.
I
Whoa.
don't know if he took a shot at the thigh or whatever. He was in pain,
I
wasn't
think
he?
he's got an ankle issue.
Gonna have to turn the volume on for the coin toss here, since that's basically everything now these days.
Mm-hmm. They'll just get the ball and have penalties the whole time.
Exactly. I still
That's
can't
so
get
bad.
over
That
that.
was like there needs to be like a Shaqtin' a Fool just for that whole like series.
Maybe there's a podcast somewhere in Indianapolis.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
The alleged host there is going more bonkers than this old fart. But this is good stuff, right? That's why they play the game. That's why we do the podcast.
I have to find one more thing to jinx them, because so far the last one I used worked and the field goal one worked.
Right?
Is there like a coin toss stat I can find or something?
How about the Packers win, get the ball, and score?
Coin toss is everything.
Okay, Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, you calling heads or tails?
The Seattle playoff game when they had the mic on.
We're going
Yeah.
to call
We're
head.
gonna get the ball and score. Remember, Andrew?
Mhm. Yeah.
John,
was the
you were at
best.
that game, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm calling tails here. I don't know about
Wait
you
a
guys.
minute. Is Tim Boyle out there? That's Tim Boyle, isn't it?
Tails is the call.
Yep, either that or Mark Burnell.
Tails.
Yeah. Boyle, an MVP move. That's the best play he's made in his Packers career. Packers get the ball.
At least he didn't take the wind.
Wait, wasn't that the same? Didn't what's his name who made that quote wear number 8 too? Just saying.
Right. I think you're right. That's what didn't
Yeah.
he, Hasselbeck, the former Packer backup himself?
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
think-
please excuse me for just a moment. All this excitement means that I have to be right back.
Yeah, JD, I want to bring something up real quick. I don't know if you remember. I think it was the Super Bowl. It might not have been that big of a game, but I think it was a playoff game where I think the Steelers had called heads, and the referee thought they said the other side of the coin, and when it got flipped, both teams thought they'd won the toss, so they had to redo it. Do you remember that by chance?
Was that Super Bowl?
I think that was
Ah.
I think it was a Thanksgiving game.
It was prime time, so I don't know if it was playoffs or not, but it was a night game.
Jerome Bettis was there, and he was
Yeah.
saying, 12 heads. He goes, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at how that game ended up.
Yeah, I think it was Bettis. I think it was a Detroit. Now they played the Super Bowl in Detroit, but I think this was a Thanksgiving game. But yeah, it was a crazy deal that that official retired that year. I think that real tall official who made. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the two happiest losing locker rooms I've ever been in was in 1995 when Yancey Thigpen of the Steelers dropped that pass
Yes.
that would have given the Steelers a win. It would have forced the Packers on the road. Instead, it was worth about $10 million to the Packer economy, and they were able to host Atlanta, a playoff game. And the Steelers were, I think, 12-3 at the time, and they didn't care. Yancey Thigpen drops the ball, and I went down to the locker room. They were all happy, like it didn't mean anything. We had home field cinched. And the other happiest locker room was the Carolina locker room after losing the NFL title game to the Packers in '96. They were just happy to be there. They had beaten Dallas the week before. Their expansion team, nobody expected them there. And they were one happy team. And I thought, well, what the heck? What's interesting here, though, is the Indianapolis defense might still be tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The last drive. So this is
That's a very good point. Short kick, too.
Hold on to the
No.
ball.
No. I'll tell you what, their special teams are good, as advertised. And
Yep.
the Packers are well below par.
But you just look at their injury list. There are fewer people injured, so they can have better people. Their
Yeah.
backups are still
All right.
on
I give
special
you that, but they have not been, even when they're healthy, they're not great, but it's a point well taken as always. He's John Dodge, the Packers historian. Michael Rachel is our emerging star, and just very thankful to have him on the team with our producer, Jason Ruck, and our main marketing man, Andrew O'Grogan, with Shannon Geringer. I'm Tom Pippins, and here we go in overtime, 31-all. How about a walk-off win, baby? Get a block. Don't hold.
All right, good start to the drive.
Lazard did a good job there, didn't he?
There's only
Leonard's limping. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's not
He's
Leonard.
down.
Right, yeah, that's not Leonard, but Leonard was limping as well.
Oh, okay.
What were you saying, John?
They only had maybe 5.5 people in the box. So it was interesting that
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
he got Leonard's knee.
26 took a shot too.
His old teammate.
Yeah,
What a-
Leonard. Yeah, Leonard's holding his right knee there, and then the other guy's down.
And then 26 took a shot to the head. So that was a great play for the Packers.
And 7 yards. Yeah, 7 yards too.
We remember it's close to Thanksgiving, John. Let's not go overboard here.
And this means that the Colts special teams might go downhill because they're all going to be playing. All the subs are going to be playing.
Second and short, right?
Yep, 2nd and 3, I believe.
Now, refresh my memory on these overtime rules. If the Packers go down and score a touchdown, it's over.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, but a field goal, you have to kick off.
Yep.
And if Indy scores a touchdown, they win.
They win.
Yep.
But if they score a field goal, it's just tied.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Then you come down to the clock. What is it, 10 minutes, Michael? Is that what they give them in the OT period?
Yep. They moved it from 15 to 10, and also a safety, I believe, ends the game.
Really?
Yeah.
That last Packer drive was 6 plays, 75 yards, 136 for that field goal
Impressive.
with a big play to MVS.
Well, it's been all Rodgers to Devontae Adams.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Oh,
No!
Oh, good.
Oh my goodness. Who was that? I didn't even notice.
MVS.
No
Oh.
way. No, let's pray that he didn't have control.
Yeah, that's going through my head, but I think it's a fleeting thought. He took a couple of he made the football move, didn't he, gentlemen?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Now a field goal ends it.
That's right, because they had the possession, didn't they?
Yep.
How many turnovers on the Pack? Is that 3 or 4?
That's a good question.
And 2 in the first half. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I want a little more yards, I think.
Kick it. What's that, Michael?
I think they're at the 30, so it'd be a 40 side. I'd like a little bit more if I'm the Colts. But yeah, Jason's right. I mean, the holding, you get one holding call here, you're out of or borderline field goal range. Come on, refs. Oh, Pascal had a chance to hold, everybody let go.
Yeah, we're praying for holding now, aren't we?
Holding, a turnover, and a missed field goal.
Oh, Andrew, that was just as frustrating as it gets right there. You like
Yeah.
the chances, they've come down, and well, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, but
But our producer, Jason Ruck,
the
Sorry.
bespectacled kicker.
our producer, Jason Ruck, is correct. They should not wait till 4th down to kick this, just in
Yeah.
case, something weird happens. I would kick it on 3rd.
Yeah.
It ain't over till the fat lady holds.
Oh, no.
Boy, this is absolutely ridiculous how soft that middle defense is.
Yeah. Oh, this will be so free. You just like the Packers' chances to go down and at least come away with a field goal. How long would it be now, Michael? You've been uncanny with this.
42 only. I think they're on the 25-yard line. I'm not exactly sure there, but I think they're right around the 25, so it'd be about 42 yards. Rookie kicker, right? He's been good this year, but he's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Never know.
Almost lost to a Rodgers a snap, Shepard a kickoff return,
That's right.
and MVS. Those are the 3. And then they just had one. They had Ellie Cox, the tight end, at the beginning of the game where it was punched out by Green.
Mm-hmm. You feel sorry for MVS. He's been good, but oh yeah. Well, barring a great turn of events here, the Packers are going to fall to 7-3. Certainly comfortable with the 5-5 Bears looking up, but New Orleans takes the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, the North.
If you get a victory against a solid team like this, it means a whole bunch for you going down the line.
I am surprised they're not kicking it here. Oh, unless they get the first down. So now if something weird happens on the snap, they got to go ahead and kick it anyway.
You gotta come with everything you've got and try to get a piece of that ball, huh, John?
Yeah, without jumping off sides.
Right.
I think it might even be worth, taking that chance at this point. It'll give them a fresh set of downs, but
No, he'll probably miss it and they'll jump off sides and then they'll be kicking.
are you pro icing the kicker, or do you just let him go ahead and kick it?
I'm not. I don't believe in that.
Gotcha. I almost think I'm kind of with you, but I don't know if it's for the same reason. I think if you don't ice, I think the kicker's got it in the back of his head that they'll call a timeout, and then if they never do, I think it might throw him off a little bit.
The all-time bonehead icing the kicker was in 86 or 87 in Green Bay. The Packers are playing the Bears great. They try to ice Kevin Butler in the mud. And so what he does during the timeout is he builds a little mound
Yes.
and he kicks off the mound and he kicks like a 48-yard field goal to win the game. And I'm thinking, well, it just improved the draft pick. But other than that, that's not very smart.
Yeah. For the win here for the Colts. Off the toe of the rookie kicker. Can you possibly make a play, guys? That's ball game. 34-31 in overtime. Man.
Boy, Rogers missing Tunyon. That was tough too. Breaking wide open.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what they'll say about that one, but
Now, just the general concern about Rogers is, when you get to be an older quarterback, sometimes you start throwing off your back foot, worrying about contact. Is that what was happening today? Because it sure looked like he was throwing backwards off his back foot.
Rivers and Rogers. Two old pros. A lot of respect there between quarterbacks, and Rogers is, and certainly his play, but I think he's like Brett Favre, don't you think, guys? Andrew, you want to take that? I think he's beloved around the league. I don't know if too many people don't like the guy. Respect him, certainly.
No, yeah, I think everybody would agree and are in awe of him. I mean, it was really cool the other day to see even Brett Favre talk about him too in that way. But yeah, I think he's well respected, even by Tom Brady.
It was once an icy relationship between 12 and 4, but they've become pretty darn good friends. Well, fellas, I don't know if you want to tarry too long here. We've got a great producer, probably wants to get set to go home, and Jason Ruck and John Dodds. I just asked for your final thoughts.
Well, for Packer fans, kind of an FYI, there's a show on NBC, and it's shown on Fox Sports 1. It's called NFL Turning Point. And it's a really good show where it's a 30-minute show, and they go over key plays of the game and the key turning point of maybe 5 or 6 games. Well, this episode this week, and I think you could probably get it on the net, what they did was they went over Kyler Murray's they call it the Hail Murray to Hopkins last week that beat the Bills. And what they did was they went back and they said in the same stadium, they looked at Aaron Rodgers' 2 Hail Marys and broke those down to Jeff Janis in the playoff game. And then they went around and they said what they were trying to do on that final play was hit a crossing route very much like Aaron Rodgers drew in the dirt at Dallas to Jared Cook on that long pass play out of bounds that they did before the big field goal in the playoffs. Then they're talking about who's the quarterback for Kyle Murray, Tom Clemens. And they showed Tom Clemens and how he worked with Aaron Rodgers for many years. So it was about 15 minutes was based on Aaron Rodgers and his Hail Marys. So if you have a chance to look at that, it's called NFL Turning Point, and it's probably going to be on their website. So it might be it's an interesting, maybe a 15-minute view for Packer fans.
Boy, it sure does. Thanks, John. It sure does hurt to look at those plays at the end. I am disappointed. I know hindsight is 2020. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest of all time, a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, but missing Tunyon, it sure seems like he was locked in on 17. There was some pressure. I just think they could have managed the clock a little bit better and had Michael at least one more play when they had to settle for. And I give him a lot of credit for going all those yards down the field, a field goal to send it to overtime instead of, you would think, winning it with a TD.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to look back, right? It's tough as a coach and quarterback because Rodgers, are you really looking at Tunyon there on the last play? I'm sure that was one of the last options he was going to look at. So he probably saw, I forgot if it was Adams or Jones in the end zone that he tried to throw it to at the end. But I mean, yeah, clock management, you got to look at it. But I don't know. You got to play better in the second half overall, right? Up until that touchdown drive, they had 6 plays for 2 minutes or whatever JD was talking, was saying,
right.
and they gave up, 11-0 in the third quarter in favor of Indianapolis, and then fourth quarter finally started to get it moving a little bit. But you can't have 4 turnovers in a game and win in the NFL. It's that simple.
Yeah, very true. Those are points well taken. Andrew Grogan, how about from your perspective as a big Packers fan there in Paris, France?
Yeah, as Michael was saying, you can't look back. So we have 3 losses, and now we'll see what we can do. I mean, the Saints won, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're they don't really have a quarterback, but it doesn't seem like they're better than us since we beat them. But I don't know. Hopefully, we win out.
Well, next up, the Bears at Lambeau Field on Sunday night, and we look forward to being with you again. With special thanks to our producer Jason Ruck for making it all possible. John Dodds, another stellar performance. Michael Rachel, again, so thankful to have you, and Andrew Grogan. You know the feeling is just the same right there for you and Shannon, everybody in the marketing team. So for our entire crew here on the Pippin Dodds Packers podcast, I'm Tom Pippins. Thanks for being with us, everybody. And through it all, we have a lot to be thankful for, including yourselves, and hope that you have a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. Have a great one. We'll see you again, hopefully next Sunday night for another viewing party. God bless. So long.